hate when they do this shit. We about to restart it again. Come on. Yo, StreamYard, y'all gotta fix that, bro. That shit is irritating, bro. Fucking video shit. But nah, what's good though, y'all? What's your name? Welcome back. Week 9 recap, episode 10, flag on the play. Here we're back with my big headed ass brother. Sports talk here. My boy Lasward and pull up. My son Warner gonna pull up for the first time. What's good, my boy?
What up?
First time in a minute. And of course, my daughter came back. But now let's get to it though. Let me start off with you, Lasward, because I said it last week, bro, but it's kind of still it's looking like it. Man, your Dolphins, bro. Are they truly frauds?
I mean, at this point, the answer got to be yes at this point, and there's just no other way to look at it because when you take everything in consideration, from the points per game literally being split in half against 500 clubs, the yardage down damn near 150 yards. And just the overall, the aesthetics and just the fluidity of the offense just isn't there, bro. Like, that first half was abysmal. I don't know what the hell play calling it was calling. I don't know what Mike McDaniel was drawing up, but it was terrible. And I got to say this about Tyreek and Tua, man. They've been on a tear at the beginning of this year, but when it's mattered most, both of those guys has pretty much let this team down the entire year. He did it against the Eagles with the piss poor interception. You can't have it. I get it. They claim, pass interference wasn't called. Whether it was called or not, it was a piss poor decision. Against the Chiefs, you go the whole first half without even getting a field goal on the board. You blame whoever you want, but everybody at the end of the day, in that first half, the offense let you down. I will say this, though, man. The defense is coming along. That's good to see. But the offense, they can't keep going into these games getting down 7-0, 14-0 and expect to beat anyone worthwhile. This shit not gonna work. So right now, yeah, they are frauds right now. I can't deny that anymore.
Nigel, how you feel about them?
I want to say they're frauds, but I think there's just so many things like that went into the Chiefs game. I think in the first half, which is really what was their downfall, because the second half they played pretty well. The first half, like, they were just kind of killed with penalties. And that was putting them in so many third and longs. And the same was true for the Chiefs, but the Chiefs were able to overcome it a little bit. But the penalties really screwed them, and they weren't able to, like, run the ball, which they've done better than basically every other team this year, like, in terms of yards per game. So that, like, threw them off their rhythm, and then they have to play catch-up. I think with that offense, they're probably better with the lead just because they like to run, they like to throw over the intermediate. They're not really like they are a high-powered offense, but you just want them sort of ahead instead of behind. So I don't. As far as their defense, I like their front four. I don't know about the back seven. It probably helps that Jalen Ramsey's back, but if I had to lean one way, I'd say they're probably frauds, just because these physical teams are able to kind of bully them a little bit.
Warnock, how you feel about them?
I mean, the way I feel about them, I think they're definitely frauds. Like, they pretty much, Nigel and Champ pretty much covered up most of the things, but I just don't trust Tua for the most part. Like, one game he's looking like the MVP, and then the next game he's looking like Daniel Jones. Like, I just don't trust him.
Yo, watch your mouth, bro. Watch your mouth. Or you get socked up.
And I do think they was missing Ramsey. Like, I think that was his first game.
Ramsey done played 2 games. This team has been healthy as it's been all year. The excuses I'm done with the excuses.
I mean, it's gonna take him a minute for him to get used to the defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you play 2 games don't mean nothing.
That's true.
But I do think he was missing Ramsey a little bit, but it's no excuse you playing good against bad teams, but then you want to play like that against great teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Champ, how you feel about him?
Well, they're definitely going to benefit from A-Chain coming back this coming week. My thing is, why didn't they keep running the ball towards the end of the game? Because they was gashing them at the end of the game for like 10 yards a carry. I mean, their running back got 12 yards. I mean, he had 12 carries for 84 yards. So he was gashing them. I don't understand why, when you see something working, why are you so possessed with the pass at a certain point? When something is working, keep on going. But as far as them being frauds, somewhat. Like I said, they're going to definitely benefit from A-Chain coming back. But they have to stop running this offense and being so dependent on Tyreek Hill getting in the open and use their other wide receivers at a certain point and get them more involved in the game. Because them strictly depending on him, trying to get him the ball at all costs, I think that was a case where that may have cost them the game. Because it's like they was trying to get him the ball on reverses and whatever. However they could get him the ball, they wanted to get him the ball. When, hey, you got 4 wide receivers on that team that can catch the ball. You got guys coming on the bench, the 6th guy on the bench, and Roby Anderson can catch that ball. So, I mean, you have to utilize your entire repertoire, not just 1 or 2 weapons. You got a plethora of weapons on that team. Use them all.
Sports talk.
I mean, if the question's whether or not they're frauds, I mean, is the sky blue? Is water wet? I mean, duh. Of course they are. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, going into this game, you have a guy who, when you traded Tyreek Hill, this is who you got, Trent McDuffie, and the Chiefs know how to play Tyreek Hill. He kind of was on that team for a long time. I mean, you had to somewhat expect, especially with how good that defense was, that he wasn't going to be your main contributor. And just like Champ said, they went away from the run. And they get way too pass happy sometimes. So, I mean, with this team, they're lucky 4 of their next 5 games are against teams with huge red flags in either offense or defensive side of the ball, not until the last 3 weeks of the year. So over the next 4 or 5 games, they're probably going to win probably 3 or 4 of them. And everyone's going to go back to, oh, here they are, they're back. And then they're going to get stomped probably 2 of the last 3 weeks of the year. And we're going to be right back in this conversation. So absolutely. I mean, it's pretty simple. Yeah, they obviously are frauds.
See, Ray, I feel you, but I'm going to get to my piece after I let my brother go. So, Trey, go ahead.
The only reason why I am still hesitating to call them frauds is because this offense looks completely different with Devon Achane in it. That's the only thing that is keeping me from saying, yep, y'all are bona fide frauds. Because the defense is going to get better. And going into the playoffs, the 2 things you always have to do in football is run the ball well and play defense. I don't care if he's a rookie. I don't care if it was only 4 games. Go look up that man's speed. You can say whatever the hell you want. That is elite level speed that quite literally nobody else in the league can match. If you start putting him in the backfield with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, it goes back to pick your poison. And now some of those runs that Raheem Mostert is getting that are 12-yard carries or 20-yard carries, those turn into 60 and 70-yard touchdowns. Because as fast as Raheem Mostert is, he's still not as fast as that kid. But it's hard to say, no, they're not, because at the end of the day, that kid's a rookie. He hasn't been durable the whole season. And none of us trust Tua completely. None of us. So,
bruh, I'm not going to lie.
They're right here.
Trey, you sugarcoating this shit out these niggas. These niggas is straight frauds. Trey, you know that the Dolphins haven't beaten a team with a winning record since week 3 of last season.
I know. It's been 7 days now.
It's half of Roman Reigns' title run in the WWE. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit, dog. But here's because I'm sorry, because Ray, I feel you. It's always any given Sunday, but the Dolphins this year have faced every time they face a bad team. Yeah, you're supposed to beat them, but they're looking like a top offense in the league, number one offense. They're bugging out. Every time they play a good team, they lose, and they lose in a way that they look mad frauds. The Bills game, they get smacked. The Eagles game, I think the trenches got dominated, so I think it was a domination game on that factor. And then on this game, I'm not gonna lie, Trey. I'm telling you right now, that pass he threw to Cedric Wilson, I don't know if it was a communication, but if that wasn't, that is the worst pass I've ever seen in my life. That is the worst pass I've ever seen. Tua played like doo-doo. Like, he did not play good, bro, at all. Tyreek, you got doubled. I'm going to give you some getting doubled. Like, you're not going to eat every time you get doubled. That's why Waddle went off. But I'm saying, no, this team right here, and also I don't trust Tua in the playoffs. I don't just trust Tua, period. Because you already know how I feel about Tua, Trey. When he doesn't have the anticipation, that first read, it don't look good for him. It don't. Because that he's limited. He's limited. That's what Tua is, bro. He's limited.
When you think of like his arm strength, you got to think with having Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, he probably has one of the top 3 worst deep ball throws in the league. Past 25 yards, that man's got a noodle.
No,
absolute noodle.
Bro, and the thing is, though, Trey, and another thing about that, another thing about that with Champion, I know y'all brought up A-Chain. If y'all had to rely on Devon A-Chain coming back to get this offense rolling with all of these pieces around you, that's an issue to me. I'm sorry. That's a big issue to me.
I
agree.
I don't disagree with that at all, what you're saying, Trent. But let me go to sports talk saying that he has a bottom third arm in the league. If you just look at the percentages alone,
I said past 25 yards, his arm turns into a noodle, which is undeniable. He underthrows every single ball. It becomes a noodle after 20, and that's not even debatable. It's not even debatable because he never throws to a guy, and he always breaks their stride every single time.
We got to turn the film on, man, because that hasn't been the case this year. But
absolutely,
if you want to. It hasn't been, but to each his own. But
I think he's inconsistent sometimes. It's like sometimes he has a noodle arm, and then at other times, in my favorite phrase, sometimes he has a noodle arm to Sports Talk's point, and other times I like saying this is my favorite phrase. Other times he can overthrow Castro. I'm just being honest with you, bro.
I watched that Chargers game. He did not look like he had a noodle arm that game.
But
for the most part, he did.
The last 4 weeks before this game, he literally completed 40-yard plus bombs for touchdowns. Like, what are we talking about?
He has an inconsistent noodle arm.
He's top 10 when it comes to throwing the ball deep and percentage completions since he's been in the league, bro. Like, the problem isn't the arm. The problem is the consistency. I can give you that. But no, he doesn't have no bottom third arm. That simply just isn't true.
Yeah, because I think he's an inconsistent, like, deep throw. One time he gonna look like he don't have a noodle arm. And then the next game, when they face the Patriots, he has Tyreek Hill wide open. So bad. Christian Gonzalez comes back.
I'm not denying any of that.
I think his deep ball his deep ball has gotten better, but it's still to the fact where when it comes to the playoffs, and then when you really watch and look at Tua, again, if he don't have his first read, it don't look good for him. And then the way how I saw Tyreek Hill get pressed.
If that happens in the playoffs, it's rough.
Bro. Yeah, that's crazy. But nah, I gotta get this off real quick because I'm not trying to call Tyreek Hill overrated. I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not. I'm really not. He's a top 5 receiver. I'm not even going to debate that. Yeah. I just don't understand the logic with people. I'm sorry, Nigel. If you think that Justin Jefferson is better than Tyreek Hill, you think Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs is better than him. The same logic that we talk about with Justin Jefferson, who has better hands, who has better routes, the same logic applies to these other 2 receivers, and people just never want to acknowledge it. Or people just say, oh, Diggs is not on their level, which is mad cap. I don't understand the logic when we talk about these receivers. I don't. I feel like Tyreek Hill gets the benefit of it out because he be bugging on the production side. Even though these other 2 receivers that I be talking about, production be going stupid too. So I don't know. Because last word told me Diggs doesn't do nothing better than Tyreek Hill.
I remember.
Whoa.
Have we seen the most important thing to the wide receiver position is catching the ball.
So you
I have
said you
watched
never seen-
every
so you
game that
said you
man
never-
Tyreek Hill has
hold
played
on,
in.
hold on.
Like
So
we're
you
not
never
doing
seen.
that.
Hold on. Have you
Go ahead, last
never
one.
seen
Wait,
Stephon
route
Diggs
running?
drop a bad pass?
Wait, no, we've seen. Wait, hold on.
Have you never seen Stephon Diggs drop a good
We've
pass?
seen every
'Cause
receiver drop
I
a
could go
pass.
to plenty.
Wait,
Like,
but
no,
here's
let's not just have this. Let's not just have this standard for Tyreek. We
wait,
can
hold
go
on.
to the past 3 weeks with Devontae Adams with bad drops. We can do the same thing with Justin Jefferson. We can do the same
But
thing
here's
with
the
Stephon
thing,
Diggs.
though. Here's the thing, though. Tyreek Hill has always had this hands issue. He's always had that. Diggs,
I'm not denying that, but
But I'm
Diggs is
saying-
not this short-handed receiver you're making him out to be. He's not.
but
That was the biggest reason why Adam Thielen was the go-to guy in Minnesota. He had
what?
troubles
Wait,
catching
whoa,
the
whoa,
ball.
whoa.
Adam
wait,
Thielen was the guy.
Wait,
Adam
what are
Thielen
you
was
talking
the
about?
guy. Back when
Wait.
Diggs was in Minnesota.
What do you, bro? The reason why Diggs left because he wanted to be the true number one. He wanted to be like really that guy.
He did, but the
He didn't have
reason-
a drop issue.
I'm not arguing that with you, my brother. But what I'm saying is, Adam Thielen was their number one from what they wanted to do from a schematical standpoint. The reason being that was the case is because Stephon Diggs was far too inconsistent in his play, and a lot of that came with the drops.
Wait. First of all,
Bro, yeah, come on.
I'm gonna get my whistle real quick. I'm back.
Listen. Y'all not about to sit here and say Stephon Diggs was an all-pro caliber receiver with the Vikings. He wasn't.
He did. He
That-
did.
that
He
was
low caliber receiver. Sure, you could say
wasn't
no. You could say that. You could say that. First of all, that's 5 years ago. We talking about 2023. I don't like going back that far because to me it just gets way too shit. That's why even with the Tyreek Hill hands,
he just got more time.
that's why even he is not. You think
Stephon Diggs is the same? If you think Stephon Diggs is the same person from Minnesota,
listen. Yes, he's the same receiver.
you're
What
tripping.
has
You're
changed?
tripping.
I clearly said last time I was on here, nothing changed by Stephon Diggs.
His
except for
hands got
targets.
way better than it was in Minnesota.
No,
Got
they're
way
Which
better.
is your point.
He's the same guy, bro.
No,
he's the
he's
same guy.
But here's the-
It's not.
Listen.
The same guy that had that big catch against the New Orleans Saints, right? You talking about that guy, right?
Yeah, the same guy.
That's what he's talking about.
You think that's the same person from the Bills? Come on, bro. You tripping.
Yes.
Nah.
First of all, what I was going to explain, Kirk Cousins. This is
changed about his game, bro. What has changed?
Bro.
What has changed?
His hands, his
Literally
route
better
has
at
gotten way more
everything.
refined.
He's been had good hands. That they didn't become elite. He doesn't have elite hands.
Stephon Diggs doesn't have elite hands?
No, bro. See, look,
What are you
no.
talking about,
He
bro?
does not have elite hands, bro. The last 10
We're
years,
not doing this.
the only guy that's had elite hands from the wide receiver position has been DeAndre
Wait,
Hopkins.
what?
He's the only guy.
You said-
He's the listen. He's the only guy I've never seen drop a sure catch when they needed it the most. I've seen Adams do it in the playoffs and regular season. I've seen Stephon Diggs do it in the playoffs and regular season. I've seen Hill do it week in, week out, and I've seen Jefferson do it. So
this is a
if we're
moment's
talking
argument.
elite hands,
This is a moment's
Is this a
argument.
moment's argument, bro?
This is
We're
not
talking about moments here.
It's not just about.
They play
moments.
17 games a year.
Listen, and that's fine. But if you're gonna sit and tell me Diggs got elite hands, but Hill don't,
He
I
don't.
can't agree with that, bro.
He don't.
Like it's just like they both have bad drops. They
No.
both
No,
have
here's the thing.
Bro,
They
no.
both have them. We
No,
seen it
because-
last
Trent, you
night.
think I'm on your side the way I'm
Because
talking.
this is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna lie. I
We
genuinely
just seen
believe.
it last night with Stephon Diggs, bro.
I
We
genuinely-
just seen it.
Well, seen
Why
what?
y'all talk? He had the bad drops last night.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Stephon Diggs has always had better hands than Tyreek Hill. You said you think that hold on. You think Tyreek Hill is a better route runner than Stephon Diggs?
I think they on par. I said it's debatable. I think they don't. I don't think Diggs is the route runner you believe. I
Where's
think
my
Coop
yellow
is a better
marker,
route runner
man?
than Diggs. I ain't gonna go with you.
Let me ask you something. Last word,
said
real
what?
quick.
I think Amari Cooper the best route runner in the league to me personally. That's
He don't
personal.
run better routes than Tay Adams, but I have him too though. Wait, so you don't
That's
think
not
that
even that crazy.
you don't think Stephon Diggs is a top 5 route runner?
No, he is.
Okay.
I just
But
think
Tyreek Hill also
Reek
is.
is a better. You think Reek is top 5 in route running?
I think
Route
it's on par. I think for me personally, it's
There's a difference
debatable.
between
Don't
being
have a
fast
top
and route
five.
running.
No, again, Champ,
Yes.
watch the film. Because if you're gonna tell me he did not become a better route runner,
He did.
you're not watching the film.
He did, but the thing is though,
He
Tyreek.
did, but like I
He
said, there's a
definitely did.
difference
That's
between
not an
being
argument.
fast and being a
No,
route
listen.
runner.
But here's the wait, but
Listen. This is my thing when it comes to route running. With route running is more based on we're assessing the technique and the skill set versus the physical attributes. Correct? and we're looking at
It's a
Stephon
balance,
Diggs consistently. The thing he does well, his release, I think he has like a top 3, top 2 release in the league. It's phenomenal. I'll give him that all day. I think his release is better than Reed's. So I think he does get the edge at route running from that standpoint, if I'm, contributing to that as well. But when it comes to running the route itself, he rounds off a lot of routes, bro. And a lot of people ignore that because he's getting open. And I get it, it's working for him. But at the same time, a lot of corners can telegraph what he does at times. And it's not to say that they're getting the best of him, because more often than not, he's going to get his. He's a top 5, top 4 receiver. I'm not denying that. But at the same time, when he runs these routes, they're not as crisp or pristine.
What?
Like we're trying to make them out the scene they are. They're not.
I think this is a crazy.
Listen.
This is a crazy statement. I swear to God.
Coop, to me, those are the best 2 route runners in the league. To me.
Oh, cool.
I think Amari Cooper has always been an underappreciated route runner. If you want to see masterclass technician at route running,
Wait, you think Tyreek Hill has better route running than Keenan Allen?
No, I don't. I think Keenan Allen top 5 too.
So wait,
Yeah,
can we just name some receivers and just see how many like?
It's the.
That's gonna go on.
Let's just get back to the main point. Cause I'm not gonna lie. Saying that is this whole conversation has been crazy because this is why. Guess why I get mad, Nigel, when people talk about Tyreek Hill because we start acting delulu about him. We just start acting crazy about Tyreek Hill's game. Tyreek Hill doesn't have elite hands. I think he's actually a really good route runner. But what separates over the top is his yak, the deep threat, and the speed. That's why I said
I think he sees the defense better than any receiver right now too, though. That's just me.
You said what?
He's seeing zones better than a lot of receivers.
Nah, I think that
a lot of that's the offense, man. A lot of that's the offense and what
a lot of that is the offense. You're not wrong about that. But at the same time, we've seen in interviews Tua literally say Reek broke off a route and he went to an open spot and I found him. That's like a lot of that's skill to me.
That is a skill. That is a skill. That is a skill. But there's a lot of receivers in the league that run option routes. You go outside or you can go inside.
He's the best doing that right now.
I say that's Cup. If I say we find the zone the best, I say that's Cup.
I would agree. Yeah.
I would say that.
That's like his job.
Bro.
That's literally his job. That's like all he does almost.
Cooper Kupp right now. I don't know, man. He fighting for that number 1 spot with Puka right now, boy.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's also his number. The guy you just got.
What do you say?
Puka Nakua look great right now, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
He do. But he's not Cup, bro. He's not.
He's not Cup. I'm not saying he is better. I'm saying if this continues the way it's going, I mean, why can't it be a 1A 1B situation?
Because if you watch them play,
Cup is a way better route runner.
You can see just
he is a better route runner for sure.
As a wide receiver as a whole, Cup is just way better than Puka Nakua.
No,
you want to talk about rounding out routes? Watch Puka Nakua.
No. Listen.
Anyway,
absolutely.
He's still great, but
you're absolutely correct. But I'm saying that because the Rams system they run, it dictates on them taking advantage of matchups versus just a guy getting open off of a one-on-one battle. You feel me? And Puka Nakua is in the slot, which he is majority of his snaps. He's going up against safeties, maybe a linebacker here and there, and the nickel corner, who's arguably the team's third best corner. And Stafford, as we know, is a quarterback who takes advantage of matchups. He's not going out there dissecting defenses like someone like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or Rodgers would. He takes advantage of matchups. So that's why I said that Cooper Kupp will be fighting for that number 1 spot, not because he's not better, but because from a schematical standpoint, Puka Nakua is going to have more favorable matchups more often than not. That's why I say that.
I don't
know if that's it's because a lot of Puka's production is when Kupp got hurt, so he's stepping into this Kupp role.
No,
that's the only reason why.
These last 2-3 weeks, he's outplayed Cooper Kupp. That Pittsburgh game, he was clearly the better receiver that day.
That was one game. Yes, that is true. That is true. Kupp, that was an outlierly bad game. He dropped like 2 passes. He had like a.
You also got to look at that since Kupp is there. Kupp is getting doubled a lot, so Puka still got a lot of the one-on-one coverages, which is when he was playing. When Kupp was out, they didn't really know who Puka was, so they was just letting it scot free. So we just got to keep it seeing, keep it pushing. But I don't think he'll
3 straight weeks though. The man with 3 straight weeks with 8+
You're right.
catches and 100 yards.
No, Buka's
Like,
nice. No, you ain't about to. Yeah.
Puka's nice. Puka's nice. Don't get it twisted. I just got again. You got to see more when Cup is there though. But now let's move it on though, because we got to talk about another fraud alert. So I'm gonna start off with you, Trey. Are the Bills also fraud? Are the Bills frauds too? Because the same how we say with the Dolphins, how they only beat up bad teams, and when they play good teams, they lose. It's the same with the Bills this season. The same exact thing. They both have a losing record with teams above 500.
Trent, I already told you how I felt about the Bills. The Bills are an incomplete team with a sneaky old roster, and you rely too much on Josh Allen. Unfortunately, the way that Josh Allen's career is going to go, from what I'm seeing in Buffalo, is going to be a slightly better version of what was done in Carolina with Cam Newton's career. Because if we remember correctly, that's where quite literally the head coach, the GM, that's where they're all from. This is Carolina North. And the one thing that if you go back and look at Cam's career, the one thing that you could honestly say from an organization standpoint where they screwed up is that they relied on him too much. It was too much of, hey, this offense is going to be the fighting Cam Newtons. Hey, we want to score a rushing touchdown? Let's give it to Cam on QB power. Hey, we want to throw a touchdown? Let's have Cam go play action and then throw a 40-yard bomb to Greg Olsen or Ted Ginn or freaking Philly Brown or one of these dudes. Like, they don't, like, this entire offense is one-sided. It's the fighting Josh Allens. They don't have a real run game. The only thing that they've done a little bit better than what they did in Carolina was put a little bit better of an offensive line in front of him and give him Stephon Diggs and draft freaking Dalton Kincaid after having Dawson Knox. Like, they've done a little bit better of giving him passing weapons, but this still is not a complete team. And like I said, that defense is sneaky old. You lost Tremaine Edmonds. Matt Milano goes down. Von Miller is old. Trey White goes down. This is not a complete team. Like, this is not a deep roster. It was top heavy. It had a lot of brand name recognition. And because they've been the darlings for the last couple of years, and because they have a really good quarterback, people are like, whoa, yeah, they're going to go deep in the playoffs. I said at the beginning of the year, I'm not so sure about that. And now look where we are.
Sports Talk?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this in the offseason. I mean, I've said the same thing, for a few years now, that it's either Josh Allen has to decide now. They even talked about it on the Pat McAfee show. Either your career is going to go Cam Newton or Ben Roethlisberger. You got to figure it out, right? And if you keep taking these hits, it's going to end up like Cam Newton, and it almost did last year with that partial tear in his elbow. Like, he really lucked out last year. And the big thing with this team is when you notice when they lose games, generally they stop running the ball. Like, they just stop. And Champ mentioned this last night or yesterday before I could. When they lose games, James Cook doesn't get the ball, especially in the running game.
James Cook.
And
He was doing well at the beginning of the season.
Going into this year, what was the big gripe everyone had about the Bills? That you haven't given Josh Allen a run game that can take some of that weight off his shoulders, so he doesn't have to play like Superman constantly. Because that's what he always feels as though he has to do, because he does, especially last year. And now you have a guy who can average 4 yards a carry, 4.2 yards a carry over a long stretch of time, and you're not using him. I mean, he had 4-5 carries yesterday, and there was a game. I think it was against, might not have been the Patriots. I can't remember who it was, but he had five carries that game too. I mean, you have to give Josh Allen a run, especially in these close games. You have to give him a run game, or else he has to play like Superman, and he's gonna make mistakes. Like, when you have the volume of which he does, yeah, he's going to turn the ball over because he's constantly has it in his hands, and the defense already knows who's going to have it constantly. So are the Bills frauds? Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I think the whole NFC, the whole AFC East is at this point, and that's not really the Jets' fault because, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is gone. But between Miami and Buffalo, I feel more confident in Buffalo because I'm more confident in the defense, and they obviously already smacked Miami. But I would still say they're frauds too, especially considering how good the AFC is right now, and the Bills right now are not even in the playoff picture. So, for me, they're definitely frauds, and I think it's more can they rely on that run game? And Sean McDermott has to be on the hot seat as of right now, especially going in the second half of the year.
Yeah. Warnock, how you feel about it, gang?
I mean, Trey, you already know how I feel about the Bills for the most part. Like, my main point, I think Trey, one of Trey points, he hit it on a point. I think they rely way too much on Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs for as a team. Like, you got to get something else on that offense to help those two guys out.
Yeah.
I think they just rely on Josh Allen and Diggs too much. I think that's their biggest problem because, like, I feel like if they had, like, not even, like, an elite running back or another elite receiver, like, just somebody who's, like, well above average, who's, like, very good, they'll be solid. But I don't really look at them as frauds either because the same way I look at them this year, I looked at them previous 2 seasons. So the way I look at the Bills is different than everybody else. So
Yeah, I feel
but them not being in the playoffs is crazy right now, but I think they'll still make the playoffs.
The thing that bothers me about their lack of a run game is that no, they don't have an elite running back. But one, according to all these front offices, apparently you don't need an elite running back to have a running game. So by their own logic, y'all should be okay. Secondly, you have James Cook, Damian Harris, and you just signed Leonard Fournette. Between those three, you can manufacture something. This is not a, we don't have anybody situation. Y'all just ain't doing it.
James Cook had 140 yards rushing one game and another, and he had 200 yards rushing games this year.
He was averaging 5.2 a carry at one point.
And there's enough talent in that backfield for them to get the job done. They just quite literally don't want to do it. That's all this is.
But,
all right, last word. How you feel about them? They frauds?
Yeah, but it's not. I'm not gonna sit here and say the Bills are frauds because of the talent around them. I'm just going with what everyone else is saying. Basically, it's a schematical issue and a play calling issue at this point. I mean, listen, Josh Allen, he's going to turn the ball over. I get it. That's a part of who he is, but it's also due to the fact that he does get a huge usage rate, and he's actually battling a shoulder injury right now. So he's going that route of, he's slowly but surely starting to break down, and the coaching staff, Ken Dorsey, Sean McDermott, these guys, they're not doing enough to put less off of his plate because I think James Cook is a very capable running back. Is he elite? No. I mean, majority of these teams don't have elite running backs, but is he good enough to get the job done? Absolutely, man. Then you got Damian Harris behind him as well, so you could have a decent running game. They just simply don't want to run the ball. And for whatever reason, I mean, I can't really sit there and tell you why because they have a good enough O-line. They got a good enough running back room. They just don't want to do it. And I think it is time to start talking about Sean McDermott capping out with this team because I think he hit his ceiling, man. I think they pretty much plateaued at this point.
All right, Nigel.
I think. Well, you mentioned they don't want to run the ball. I feel like they told us what they want to be with their draft pick. If you get what I'm saying, their first pick this draft was Dalton Kincaid, a tight end who's not a blocker, who's basically just a big slot receiver.
Yep.
Right. It's not like they went and got this do it all sort of tight end. They went and got basically a big old slot receiver, and he's really good. Don't get me wrong, but the Bills are telling you what they want to be, based on the draft, based on free agency. They're not super aggressive when it comes to getting running back. They'll sign a Leonard Fournette, they'll sign a Latavius Murray. You know what I mean? They'll spend a second round pick one of the last 4 years on James Cook, but they're really just want to I heard someone ask what do the Bills do really well, and the first thing I thought was they Josh Allen really well. That's what they do really well. They're very good at Josh Allening.
Facts.
That's their strength. Like, and Stephon Diggs, you got to give Stephon Diggs credit too, because he wouldn't be able to do what he does if Stephon Diggs wasn't there. But and the frustrating thing about them is when they actually run the ball, they're very good at it. Like, they are good at it. They are good at running the ball. It's not like they're a terrible running team and then they get away from it. Like, they're good at running the ball when they do it, whether it's with Josh Allen, whether it's with James Cook, whether it's at the goal line with their other two backs. Like, they've been decent at it. It's literally just they don't want to do it. And the defense is at best mid at this point. With the injuries and the age, I mean, you can't really rely on them the way you've relied on them in the last 3 years. So I think they're definitely frauds just because, I mean, Sports Talk brought up a stat earlier that had them like the third best team in the league. I mean, if that's what people are thinking about them, then they're certainly frauds because they're not close to that in terms of personnel, in terms of schematics, in terms of coaching. I think Sean McDermott should, like, I don't want to say he should go, but like when you've been this stagnant for 4 years, they've been basically the same team for 4 years, and it's getting worse. Like, the defense is getting worse. The lack of a run game, or the lack of a willingness to run the ball is getting worse. Like, at some point you gotta get someone in there that'll change it up a bit. So I think they're definitely frauds.
Champ.
I will say this before, and I'll say it again. We call them frauds, but what have they done since that AFC Championship games to prove anything otherwise? Let's ask ourselves that question first.
But
because they became lovable because of that story right there. But ever since then, they've done nothing in order to build upon that. Usually when a team makes the AFC Championship, NFC Championship, you see them making certain moves in the offseason to make them get closer to that. Where's that big offensive move that they needed? You don't see it. Where's that big tight end move that you need? You don't see it. A huge defensive move to say we're going for it all. You don't see it.
No, they would have got Von Miller to be fair.
Let's see, I thought Von Miller was that. I thought they were going to get D-Hop at the trade deadline.
Von Miller. They did go get Von Miller that next season.
Also, while we're talking about this defense, I really want to know, why is Kyer Elam not playing? Like,
and he's a first round
pick. Actually a really good
Christian
question.
Benford is
Christian Benford is playing better than expectations.
Better than Okay. He's a 6th round pick.
Okay, so then you don't play both of them then, because you lost Trey White. Like, I'm not understanding. Your defense is not good enough right now for you to be like, oh yeah, this guy that we drafted as a 1st round pick, yeah, we just gonna put him on the bench. Why is he not playing? You are thin in your secondary. Find a way to get him on the field. He played nickel at Florida. Like, there are things you can do.
I'm gonna be real, Trey. And of course, it's hindsight, but you already know how I feel about this person. This is exactly why Troy says Tank Dell should have been 1st round draft pick. This is exactly why. I don't even think the run game is the main issue. Gabe Davis is ass. Now, in hindsight, Darlington Kincaid was a great pick, and I think he's going to work out them later on. But they need a bona fide wide receiver too. And I think you could have got a receiver still, even though like 4 receivers got taken right before them. Because I thought they was going to get Jordan Addison, and then he got snatched right before the Vikings. Take it. Yeah. But this is why I say, like, Trey, that's what I'm saying, bro. Tank should have been a 1st round draft pick. Because I get it. James Cook, they not running the ball, but I think it's still in the passing game because of how elite it is and how great it is between him and Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. If they would have got another bona fide wide receiver too, who could actually run routes and get open, yeah, this will look way better than what we think. I think they will win more games.
Yeah, that's that proves my point. They should have worked for it. Like I said, when you've been to an AFC Championship game and lost, that should put some urgency in the heart of your front office to say, hey, we got to go for it all. When you saw DeAndre Hopkins come available, go for it. I mean, a 2nd, 3rd round pick, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose at a certain point? And my thing is, I'll say this. People being too heavily reliant on these quarterbacks. You're gonna die by these quarterbacks more than you're gonna live. You're gonna die more than ask Dan Marino. That's a prime example. Ask him. I mean, ask Peyton Manning when his first couple of playoff seasons. You keep being so heavily ask Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. Yeah, literally Cam Newton.
Ask Cam Newton. Ask some of the other running quarterbacks. Ask Steve McNair. You keep relying on them way, way too much, and I don't understand. And any other franchise, I don't know if the Bills are not too smart. You haven't had a franchise quarterback since Jim Kelly. Am I lying?
No.
You haven't had a franchise quarterback since Jim Kelly. You had Doug Flutie for about 2 years, and you benched him for Rob Johnson. That just goes to show you how stupid that franchise can be. And now you're running your quarterback nearly every down. He's getting knocked the bejesus knocked out of him, and you're not trying to do anything to put anything around him. What are you doing?
Mind you, what did Jim Kelly have behind him? He had Thurman Thomas, who was a
he had
MVP running back.
You got to think,
you know what I mean?
He also had Andre Reed.
And he also had Andre Reed, but the point is, like, the running game was there. Like, they surrounded him.
And to Trent's point, he had a wide receiver. Both of Jim Kelly's wide receivers right now in the Hall of Fame. They had James Lofton.
I was just about to say.
They had James Lofton and Jim Kelly. Both of those guys are in the Hall of Fame right now. People forget James Lofton for some reason. I don't know why. But
James Lofton. Yeah, I was about to say James Lofton's in the Hall.
Well, also
he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why people forget about James Lofton.
With Josh Allen, people are talking about his injuries. Like, this year he's battling through a shoulder injury. With the way he plays, this is going to be every year for the rest of his career if he keeps playing this way.
Again,
like, it's never going to stop.
They have to put safeguards in place in order to make sure he's not playing that way. If you have to play Superman every play, you're trying to force everything down the field because guys are not getting open. The only guy that you can rely on is cover. You're not running the ball. Your defense is not coming up with big stops. You're trying to force something every single play. That's what's causing these injuries.
I mean, yeah. Also, to your point, you're talking about safeguards. Look, we already know he's going to play the way he's going to play. Like, when we talk about the quarterbacks in the league, some of the guys who are the great improvisers and guys who can make plays outside the structure of the offense, it's always three guys we talk about: Mahomes, Herbert, Allen. Those are the three guys that are kind of all not necessarily in the same mold, but they're probably the most similar. Pat does the best job of kind of straddling the fence between, okay, when do I need to be a game manager? When do I need to be an artist? Herbert is probably a better game manager than Allen, but he doesn't have the artistry when it comes to, oh, okay, cool. Things are broken down. It's time for me to use my gifts and make a play. You could argue at certain points, out of those three, Josh is actually the best artist, but there are too many mistakes that happen when he's trying to create art. And one of those mistakes that always ends up happening is he gets nicked up because he plays like a wild man. Does anybody remember him trying to, like, literally jump over somebody? And it was like 4th and 15, and he was 7 yards away from the
It was the Giants game, bro. It was the Giants game. This nigga literally ran and it was like it was like a third and 12.
It was the Jets game.
He did both times, bro. He just be bugging.
Yeah, like he just be doing stuff. So if you're going
Jets game, that was week 1. I remember that.
If you're gonna have a dude like that, you have to save him from himself. And one of the things you could do, if you don't want to put him in harm's way, get a running back that you trust to just hand the ball off to.
I totally forgot, bro. This draft class is the perfect way for the Bills to win a Super Bowl. Go get a Keon Coleman.
I think this is their last chance. I've been saying
I'm saying
for over 2 years now. They have about a 2-year window. You go
get a Keon Coleman, Malik Neighbors. You get one of those type of receivers. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Keon Coleman is nice, boy.
If they get I'm telling you this. I'll put it like this: this next year's draft is the perfect opportunity for the Bills to have the best chance to win a Super Bowl. If they get Malik Neighbors, Mecca Ibuka, Xavier Worthy, if they get one of those type of guys, yeah, bro, that might be really dangerous, even with the lack of the running game, because you actually have a bona fide wide receiver too with them. Because Gabe Davis is garbage. That brother is ass.
Yeah,
The
he
only
whack.
problem
So
with that,
ass.
Trent, I think the Bills believe in Gabe Davis, man. That's the problem with that. They genuinely believe he is a good enough number two. Because I mean, how we know that? I mean, he's been there. What has it been 3 years now? I mean, they haven't really. They've been rumored to be in speculation and talks with people about DeAndre Hopkins, about who else we talking about? Devontae Adams at one point, because they was actually the favorites to land him before the trade deadline. But I genuinely believe, like the proof is in the pudding at this point, man. They genuinely believe Gabe Davis is good enough to be the number two. And unless they get in some guy on the low hanging fruit bargain kind of deal, I don't think they're going to move off of Gabe Davis being their second best receiver. I just don't see it because they've had chances to go get guys. It's not like they haven't had the chances; they've had the chances.
Do you see Hunter Renfrow as being one of the targets they can get last word?
But I feel like
yes. I think Hunter Renfrow could come in and be their Cole Beasley all over again, man. Hunter Renfrow is actually really underappreciated, man.
But this is what I'm saying though. I think now that since this draft is so wide receiver deep, they rather just wait for the draft instead of just getting money for a player.
No,
so we just got to wait. But now let's move on though, because let's talk about. I'm waiting to talk. Let's get this shit out the way. First off, CJ Stroud is better than Trevor Lawrence. If it's he's better than Trevor. CJ Stroud is better than Trevor Lawrence. No bullshit. Trevor Lawrence last year was good for a half a season. And it's been a half a season right now for CJ Stroud. And he probably looked better than him right now. And I'm not going to lie. If we talk about as a quarterback, CJ more accurate.
Yes.
Like, a lot better pocket presence. Like, bruh, CJ
Stroud. That's iffy. It's iffy.
It's iffy.
Because Lawrence, if anything, is elite.
He's doing more with less. Because I'm the only motherfucker who can't for Tank down here. You know how I get. I'm the main one. He's elevating. What's his name? Nico Collins crazy. Even though Nico Collins go Michigan, he still elevated him. I ain't gonna say Noah Brown because it was a one game. Dalton Schultz, but nobody was talking about the Texas. Everybody thought the Texas had like 3 games. Everybody thought it was going like 3 games, bro. And look at them, bro.
I thought they was gonna win like 2 games.
You know what?
I thought they was gonna win that max 5 games.
You know what, Trent? You know what I believe about Trevor Lawrence, and this is probably a hot take that I have. I really feel like people want to call him an elite quarterback, but I think they fall in love with what he looks like versus what he really is. I really believe he's a glorified game manager, maybe a great game manager, to be honest with you.
What
they fall in love with, and like I said, they fall in love with what he looks like versus what he is. He's the prototypical quarterback, 6'5", 6'6", 235 pounds. And like you said, CJ Stroud coming in doing better than he is.
And I mean, I think a lot of that, man, I made a video during the draft process about CJ Stroud, and I got a lot of flake for it because I said the Panthers don't take CJ Stroud first overall. It would be the biggest mistake they ever made in franchise history. And that's not to say Bryce Young isn't good.
That ain't the biggest mistake they took. They made the biggest mistake they made by taking Ray Carew.
Damn.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, last words. I got another bone to pick with people, bro.
You good, man. But yeah, so I said that about the CJ Stroud situation. It's because I felt as if not only was he the most pro-ready quarterback in this draft, I felt as if his ceiling is somewhat on par with what Andy Richardson's ceiling is for me, because I do believe he's a better athlete than he's given credit for, and he is the best decision maker between the 3 quarterbacks who a lot of people were saying were the 3 best quarterback prospects. So I just felt as if CJ Stroud was at a level where he was more pro-ready to come in and actually help elevate decent talent like he's doing now. I mean, before this season, man, if we were going into the season, I would have told you CJ Stroud would have had a 5-touchdown game with 470 against a pretty good, decent defense like the Bucs. You would have said, shit, he probably run away with Offensive Rookie of the Year then. And that's exactly what he's doing. Like, the man is simply playing at a level that a lot of people did not expect him to play at. But me personally, I'm not gonna say I seen him doing this, but I always thought his upside, and I thought he should always be the first overall pick. So I'm not really shocked about what he's doing. But at the same time, man, I gotta give him his flowers. He's been balling, bro. But I think people starting to kind of OD the little top 10 quarterback thing.
Yeah, they probably are, but I got a bone to pick because all you niggas like that are draft experts and they be posting y'all shit about who y'all got going these first and second rounds. All y'all niggas that was talking mad as shit about Tank, I swear to God, I don't know what the fuck y'all niggas be watching. Talk about some his round one is not that good. He doesn't have elite yak, this and that. He's a day 3. Let's stop hyping over Tank Dell. If you watch Tank at Houston, and yes, you can maybe call me biased because that was my teammate. I saw him in practice every day run routes. When you run routes, this is good. I'm not gonna lie. He should have been a first rounder, and I've been told you this, Trey. He should have been a first round draft pick. If Zay Flowers can go top 20, why couldn't
you wildin'.
Hold on, Zay Flowers.
Not first round, bro.
Wait, hold on.
No, the reason why I'm saying that, Warnock, because when you watch Tank, there was no limitations that you could really say about Tank Dell where he wasn't a top tier player or a top tier receiver in the draft class. He had the hands, he had the routes, he had the yak, he had the deep threat ability. The nigga can play outside, and he's 5'8", $160, soaking wet. And it's not like he could be getting choked up at the line. He really routing these niggas up. And I'm saying,
can he be the next Steve Smith in your opinion?
I don't know. I think Steve Smith is just Steve Smith, bro. He's in his old terror, bro.
Well, you know, sort of like that.
I can say that because I'm just saying though, bro. When you see a player like that in trade,
I think his play style would be better than Antonio Brown than
But I'm
Steve.
saying no trade. But I'm saying though, when you're able to do what he did and now, and even in the red zone, how little he is, getting up 15, 16 touchdowns a year, like bro, that's at 5'8", 160, bro. That got to be recognized. But nah, people was saying that he's too little, he's this and that, and literally Zay Flowers is an inch taller than him, and he weighs like 15 more pounds than him.
Okay.
I think a lot of it is cherry picking. I think a lot of it. Wait, what?
Hold on. Let me address this because I get where Trent's coming from, but I've said this before. We have seen guys Tank's height succeed in the NFL. We've even seen dudes that are Tank's weight succeed in the NFL at a high level. It has been very few times where we have seen somebody with that complete size profile being like 5'9" and 165 pounds be anything more than maybe a return specialist or a number 3 receiver. So while I do understand where you're coming from, Trent, because you're right. If he was 175 pounds,
that's a first round pick.
165 pounds, he would have got drafted in the same spot that Zay Flowers got drafted in. Because you're right. They're not dissimilar from each other. But that weight difference, it matters. Like when Zay Flowers walks into a building and GM see him, yeah, he's 175 pounds. But he's 175 pounds and he's yoked up. Like he looks like he can survive an NFL season.
I'd say he's 182.
Tank is a tiny dude. The only thing that gives him place as a football player is that homie might be so small that it's really hard to get a clean shot on it. It's hard for you to touch him.
Real quick, bro, if you think Zay Flowers is way better than Tank, you smoking dope.
No, he's not way better. Nah.
But
I don't even think that's a coin flip. I think the three.
I don't even know if he's better, but
the three best receivers to me has been Zay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not like a lock.
Like the three receivers I've seen that's been the best to me has been Zay, Tank, and Puka. And I'm saying this, Trey, is that again, bro. Like there was no limitations to Tank's game, bro, at all. There's no limitations.
But his size, though, you can't just disregard that, though, Trent.
I don't.
Even on your side.
I just don't think the size difference is that much for me to show from first round to third. I don't think that's just me though. I don't think that's
look. I get where you're coming from. I'm just letting you know.
And also, real quick, my fault, but real quick. And it wasn't like Jordan Addison too. I totally forgot him. Yeah, those are the top 4 because that was my wide receiver 1. But it wasn't like us in Houston. We Eastern Michigan like Corey Davis when he was just bugging out playing jabronis. We're playing actually good teams and playing actual decent comp, and he was still tweaking. So why couldn't he be the exception?
Y'all still running the run and shoot offense down there? I know I asked you this before and I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
we
I
still
felt
do
like
that.
we should have drafted him. Like,
I feel
I
like
was
the Eagles,
real
if the
mad that
Eagles
we
did that, bro,
didn't
that
draft
would have been ridiculous. Y'all
Although I think the better thing would be say, why wasn't he taking over someone like Quentin Johnson? If you're going to take Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison, why not take him over a guy like Quentin Johnson when Quentin Johnson was pretty much the replica of Mike Williams, honestly, for the Chargers, and they haven't used him at all. And also, the reason why he wasn't drafted that high, and I mean, Trent's already kind of pointed at it, smaller school in comparison to USC, and the other schools, and TCU obviously made a deep run and stuff like that. And I mean, at that regard, not as many people are watching it. Those programs that aren't that high up, it's just like any other level. You don't watch those guys that are in, on the more of the bottom tier brackets, not the top, you're not your top notch teams, because that's generally where you find your best talent.
The reason why I give a little bit of slack for the Quentin Johnson pick, because of it's just the potential of him. His potential is kind of crazy. He just has to play. Like, he's 6'4". He's not he's actually a good route runner, and he actually has pretty damn good yak. And he's 6'4".
Yeah.
But my issue with Zay is that bro 5'9", he played at Boston College. Like, he ain't playing at no Clemson.
Yeah, it's not like he's playing it.
It's not like he's playing crazy. He's playing at Boston College, fam. So it's not that far off when we about to talk about competition. I just think that.
I get it. Yeah, he played at Boston College, but the only reason why he played at Boston College is because he wanted to be there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he could have went to any other school. I think Trey. I think it's the same thing for Tank, because there was some schools that Tank could have went to, bro. Let's say
I hear you the same way Jordan Addison was at Pitt at one time.
Exactly. When he went to Blitnikoff, which is great.
Yeah, he was Kenny Pickett's receiver in college. But yeah, I'm just saying, I get where you're coming from, Trent. I just need you to understand the way that process works. Like, people are going off of the history of the league. Like, people are looking at, okay, the past says this works, this doesn't. So if I have to gamble this first round pick, I'm a gamble on something that I've seen work before. Because if you gamble on something that nobody's seen work before and it don't work,
it's gonna look bad.
Right.
But if you do, it look like a genius.
If you
Al Davis proved that plenty of times.
People ain't willing to take that risk.
But what was you about to say, Warren? What was you about to say, Warren?
I feel you, Trey, but this is the thing, though. Like, how often are second round and third round picks are just like superstars? Like, I feel like, because I agree with Trent, before the season,
starters.
Huh?
That's the thing. Like, the way draft picks are kind of viewed in the NFL, like, almost think about it as like just giving a kid a contract off rip. And it's like, it's slotted based off what you think he's going to be. If you're drafted in the first round, they're essentially saying you're going to be a high-end starter / like star in the league. Second and third rounders are looked at in the league as you're going to turn into a starter at some point. It might be in your rookie season. It might be the next season. But at some point in time, we think you have the talent to turn into a starter. You might just not be a surefire starter the way one of these first round picks is. You see what I'm saying? So, like, the place where he got taken is honestly about right, because people are looking at him like, the size is not something we've seen before, at least working out in the NFL. But the skill set is something we've seen work every week. So we gonna try and gamble, and hopefully you don't get broken in half. And to his credit, homie ain't been broken in half.
Yeah.
So
I think he also went to his best situation too, though. I think he went to the best situation he could have went to.
Yeah,
well, that's,
I mean, if you look at it, Warnock, just to maximize the talent,
the table for him.
Yeah, just to maximize the talent of what Tank's doing, because Tank's on the outside, inside, running all types of shit. It's really look like he's back playing like he was in college, playing in Houston. So it's just, that's how it is. But
he must have got hurt. The reason that his draft stock failed. Do you know?
No, he didn't, bro. And the crazy part is he did it. His junior, I think his sophomore year, he went for like 100 some catches, 1,200 yards, and like 12 TDs.
Mm-hmm.
The following year, he basically triple crowned college football. The only thing that I think he was just off in maybe yards because he had like 1398.
Mm-hmm.
He basically triple crowned it, and he had and I think he was tied in touchdowns with Jalen Hyatt or something like that. He was like number one, so he was going crazy. Like that was a really good team. It's that we just weren't disciplined. So it was just like that's why I say I don't know how he didn't go first or at least second round at least. To me, I think that was to me at least a second round. That's why I'm saying.
I'm still crazy. It's still crazy. Y'all still running the Jack Party's offense. That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Hey, they get it done instead. It's just we don't have the teams yet. But now let's
I'm showing my age.
I really wish we grabbed them though, bro. Like I really wish we grabbed that Tank on, bro.
Do y'all think that staying on the Texans? I'll start with you, Trey. Do y'all think that the Texans can make a push for a wild card spot in year one?
I'm not gonna definitively say that they can, but I think they have a shot between your rookie quarterback playing at this kind of a high level. If they could get any semblance of a running game, this could be a problem because that defense is actually pretty good. The other rookie that hasn't been talked about nearly enough, I don't know what the numbers look like, and quite frankly, I don't care because I know that kid is having an impact on that defense is Will Anderson. Like, even if you go back and watch his first game in the NFL, everybody was talking, oh, Lamar looks rusty. Part of Lamar looking rusty in that first game in that Tom Munkin offense was Will Anderson was putting belt to ass on Ronnie Stanley and the rest of them. Every time he lined up, it was like, oh, you're in front of me? You're food. Bye. And he would just run by them and get to the quarterback. And he's been that way consistently. The kid's been disruptive all year. And that's helped that young defense kind of play at a higher level. So if they can get any semblance of a run game, which I don't know they'll ever get, but if they can find it, then yeah, I think they might have a shot.
Sports Talk?
You know, I'm kind of with Trey on this. You know, if I were a betting man, I wouldn't put my money on them making the playoffs because I think the AFC is just so loaded right now, obviously, and I just don't put their team in that category quite yet. I think if someone commented it, I think it was Matthew in the comments, he said that if they were in the NFC, I would think they'd make the playoffs. I do believe if they were in the NFC, they would make the playoffs. But playing the Bengals this week, it's weird with the Texans because I said it yesterday, you know, they're inconsistent as all get out. Like they had a 2-week stretch against the Jaguars and the Steelers where they were just dominant. And then, you lose to the Falcons and then, the game against the Panthers. Like they have real roller coaster. It's like every 2 weeks, it's like a big roller coaster, right? And I think they'll beat the teams like the Cardinals, probably, maybe like the Broncos, maybe Titans. Luckily for them, they are in the AFC South. So it's definitely open. But as far as if I were to take a bet on whether or not they would, I wouldn't. I think, because the Bills are still in the hunt. The AFC North is all, pretty raw. You still got the Chargers that are at the same, record. I don't see them on that caliber of team quite yet. I think they're about a year out, maybe 2.
Champ?
I think that they can. Now, will they? That's another question because I think here's the thing. I think they can beat the Jets. They can beat the Cardinals. There's a lot of teams coming up on their schedule that they can beat. It's just a question of will they. I think they have a legitimate chance of making the playoffs, and they're in the NFC South. Yeah, I think they can make it. I think they have a legitimate chance to make it. It was just all depending if they win. If you beat the teams you're supposed to beat and luck up on a few others, you can make the playoffs.
Last word.
Yeah, man. So I think they could do it, man. I mean, I'm not fully sold on the Browns and the Steelers being these bona fide sure-in playoff teams. I just think they got too many concerns on the offensive side of the ball for both of those teams. The Steelers, in fact, I think I seen a stat the other day where they've been outgained in 8 out of the 9 games they played.
Yep.
I mean, 7 out of the 8 games they played, and they still won.
So all of them, literally all of them.
And I don't think they're going to just keep getting the football gods on their side in terms of them squeaking out of these games. I just don't think that's going to keep happening. So I'm not going to say the Texans are for sure going to make the playoffs, but when you look at their schedule, man, they got a lot of winnable games. I mean, you got like Sports Talk and Chat was saying, the Cardinals, Jazz, Broncos, Jets, Titans twice, Colts. I mean,
not to mention the Steelers haven't had over 400 yards in almost 3 years. They haven't had over 400 yards in offense.
Yo, Matt Canada is a terrorist. That is ridiculous, son. I ain't gonna lie. That is crazy.
It's like
Nigel about to snap.
Yeah, I forgot Nigel was Steelers fan. But hold on, Nigel. Hold on. Hey, go ahead, Warnock.
No, not right now. Yeah.
Go ahead, Warnock. Do you think the push for a wild card spot?
Bro, keep it a beam. Before the season, I did not think they was gonna be good at all because I did not believe in CJ Stroud. But me looking at them, I think they can. I don't think they will though. It's always a chance, but I don't think they will. Me looking at the rest of the schedule for the season. Me looking at the rest of the season, they schedule. They got some games they could definitely win and get to like 9-10 wins, but I just don't see it happening, honestly. I think CJ Stroud is gonna come back down to earth.
I mean, yeah, I can get to that. Nigel, how you feel about that?
All right, I'll just say I think they will make the playoffs. I'm gonna say that right now. I think they will make the playoffs, and here's why. I think right now in the wild card, it's the Bengals, Steelers, and Browns.
No, I was gonna say, do you think there's gonna be 2 teams coming out the AFC South?
Yes, I do. I do think. I don't think they'll catch. They could catch Jacksonville, but that's not what I'm banking on. So here's I guess is my logic. So the Steelers have 4 division games left, and 3 of them are on the road. They've already played 2 of their home division games. I think this AFC North is about to beat up on each other like insanely. Like I think it's going to be back and forth. The Ravens, I think, are secured. I think they're going to win the division, and I think the Bengals are probably going to be the 5 seed. But I think the Browns and the Steelers. They play each other again. I don't know how soon, but they play against each other in Cleveland. Cleveland is probably going to win that game. I don't think we sweep the Browns. I just think that division is going to beat up on each other so much, combined with like the Chargers, they're going to do their thing. They're going to win one game and then lose the next. It's going to be so muddled up. And then the Texans with this for the most part, easy schedule. They've already played a lot of their hard games. Like I know they've played the Falcons and the Panthers. They've already played the entire NFC South, which was supposed to be like their easy games. They played the Panthers, Saints, Falcons, and Bucks. So all they're playing now is their division rivals. They're playing their division rivals, which is the Titans. And am I still here?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, you should.
You still here?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Trent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think all these AFC wild card.
Damn, that's crazy.
Damn, it's just shut up.
Good now?
Wait, say it again. Yeah, come on. See what they do.
Am I here? I'm here.
This nigga lagging like shit. Look at that. Damn. Hey, Nigel, just reset.
Oh my
reset,
gosh, bro.
Reset your shit real quick and then just join back. Nah.
Reset,
but,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just wait.
Yeah, you lagging. Just hold on for because you lagging like shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Is it? Wait, am I tripping? Y'all here?
Nah, you got tripping.
Nah, it's lagging.
This is a different type of lag. This nigga delay lagging. This shit crazy. Delay lagging is disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, but, let's start. Let's get it going though, because this is gonna be for you, champ. Then we'll let everybody else go. I see some interesting shit when y'all lost to Josh Dobbs in that Vikings game. Seen some interesting. K1, the fact that y'all let a quarterback, I don't know if it's still here. The fact that y'all let a quarterback who came in, that didn't take one practice snap, come in and beat y'all is nuts. Second, Y'all ran Jonnu Smith a jet sweep on the goal line. So with that being said, and y'all wasn't using Bijan. So with that being said, is it time to fire Arthur Smith?
Yes, it's been time. My thing is this. Here's the
You
thing.
said that too quick, boy.
It's been time. Shit, I mean, is it time for me to lose weight? That's how much time it is. Shit, it was time for me to lose weight last year. He was supposed to be gone last year. Here's what he's trying to do, and here's the thing. He's trying to make Atlanta the Titans. This ain't that type of team. It's not. You have more players at the skill position. You have a more versatile, and this is no knock against Derrick Henry because he's he's great. But you have a more versatile running back in Bijan Robinson, and you have a good defense. I can't say they're great because you just gave it up like a hood rat on Sunday.
Ooh.
So it's like,
that's back-to-back weeks too. Exactly.
It's back-to-back weeks. He's trying to make them into the Titans of Atlanta, and that's just not going to happen. Number two, you don't make any defensive adjustments on the defensive side in order to make sure this guy's not going up and down the field on you. You don't make any type of defensive adjustments in order to do that. You're not getting early in the season. Early in the season, you should have been benched Desmond Riddler. You should have been benched him. I understand he had that one brilliant game, but you should have been benched him.
I wouldn't call that brilliant, but
I mean, well, so the critics will call it a brilliant game, I would say.
To his standard.
He had that one little brilliant game, and then after that, it was just like, bah. But it's been time for him to go. He needs to. Here's what Atlanta, and I think I said this on another podcast, and I hate to put the same material out on another podcast. Atlanta needs to stop doing this. Stop hiring these offensive coordinators and hire legitimate coaches. In the past 20 years, there's only been 2 legitimate coaches that ever came to Atlanta. That was Mike Smith and Dan Reeves. All the rest of those guys was glorified offensive defensive coordinators.
Hey, you ain't like Dan Quinn?
No. If defense is your forte. Wait a minute. Wait. If defense is your forte and you are a defensive coach and we never had a top 10 defense, what are you doing?
Man, hey.
And you couldn't get and another thing, you couldn't get control over your offensive coordinator inside in that Super Bowl game where you're up 28-3, and you can't get control of your defensive coordinator, get control of your staff in order for you to win a damn Super Bowl.
Man, you right about that one though.
You can't get control. You can't get control of your staff. Ask anybody what would have happened if that was Bill Parcells. If that was, hey, y'all can relate to this, y'all Giants fans. Y'all called it a Giants fan. Ask what would have happened if he would have tried that with Tom Coughlin.
Shit.
You right.
You right. Ask him what would have happened. And furthermore, outside of that Super Bowl, he had one other winning season outside of that Super Bowl, and that was the very next season. Every other season, we went 500 or below. Atlanta needs to stop hiring these offensive coordinators. They need to stop hiring these offensive coordinators trying to bite other teams' style and get back to what makes the Falcons the Falcons. Every great Falcons teams have a good running back. You already got that part solved. A good tight end, you already got that part solved. A good wide receiver, you already got that part solved. Where's your good defensive ends? Where's your great DBs other than maybe Terrell and Jesse Bates?
Jesse Bates, man.
I mean, where's your great offensive lineman other than McCary? You have to get back to those things. Stop trying to hire other people.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lindstrom.
I mean, and the thing is, Lindstrom. Yeah, Lindstrom. But stop trying to hire people from these staffs and stealing their style, because they're going to bring their style to Atlanta. He's trying to make Bijan Robinson and Tyler Aguilar. He's trying to make them the next Derrick Henry. There's only one Derrick Henry. There's only one.
Champ, any coach you would recommend? Do y'all to get?
Any coach that I would recommend. I would say Harbaugh, but I don't know. But as your brother said last week, I wouldn't. He's gonna wear down the franchise. If he wore down the franchise in San Francisco, I could just imagine what's gonna happen in Atlanta. I would love to see Eric Bieniemy there, depending on who we draft. If we draft a guy like Michael Penix Jr. there, I would love to see Eric Bieniemy there, as long as he don't come in with the pass happiness. If he don't come in like that, if he used every single weapon wisely, I could see Eric Bieniemy coming in.
I got.
Let's say Trey. We'll say. Is it time to fire?
I was about to say, you already know how I feel. First and foremost, yes, get his ass out of there. Get him out of there. I am usually not the one that will be so liberal in saying coaches need to be fired, obviously, because of who our dad is and because we know the business is tough. I get it. But at the end of the day, this man has spent his last couple of years as that head coach practicing malpractice. And this is why I have an issue with dudes like him getting the job in the first place. He is nothing more than a glorified running backs coach. Because
exactly,
you can't tell me that as an offensive-minded head coach, this isn't a dream situation right now. Like, you're gifted a unicorn in Kyle Pitts. The next year, they give you Drake London, who's a big body dude who can play above the rim, but also run routes, which is kind of rare. And then you follow that up the next year with getting like Saquon 2.0 in freaking Bijan. And
then don't forget about Hollis and Tyler Aguilar. Don't forget about those two guys.
But my thing is this. He spends more time trying to find ways to get Jonnu Smith and Tyler Algiers and Zacchaeus from last year and Cordero Patterson. You find every excuse you could possibly come up with to try and get guys who aren't as talented as your high-end talent the ball. That's malpractice as an offensive head coach. If you're going to have this much control over the offense and you're investing this kind of capital in the personnel just for you to basically play with, this is essentially like a parent going out their way to buy their kid the brand new PS5 with the God of War bundle, and then they went and got Spider-Man game, and then, and then they went and got the brand new Madden, and the kid is like, you know what? I'm gonna go ride my bike. What you mean? I just spent like $1,000 for you to get video games. You gotta play them things. Like, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Like, he is the spoiled kid who got everything handed to him in this situation. He was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go outside and play basketball. No, if you don't get your little bratty ass back in here and play this PS5, like, what are we doing?
Yo.
Like, this is ludicrous at this point. Like,
that's a great analogy.
Why are you drawing up screens for Jonnu Smith? Why?
Hey, at least he took it to the crib.
I'm so happy for Jonnu Smith.
He did scope.
He scored though. I can't really complain.
I love that for him. Shout out to you. I'm not here to cast aspersions on Jonnu Smith. I'm not saying that this is his fault. He did what he was supposed to do. The coach said, I'm gonna get his ball to you. Go score. He did his job. Good on you. My problem is, coach, why are you drawing up a play for him when you got Kyle Pitts? Why?
Hey, I got an interesting stat for that.
I feel you.
Go ahead.
So Kyle Pitts has been targeted 10 plus times in his 3 years, just 2 games. He's been targeted 10 times, just 2 games in 3 years. Sam Laporta has already been targeted 3 times or 10 times plus 3 times this year. That totally came out wrong. But he's had 10 plus targets for 3 games this year already. Sam Laporta has.
And guess what? Their rookie contract
it's not that Kyle Pitts is underperforming. It's that they're not even giving him the opportunity.
Okay, I'm gonna say this too, though, bro. Because I feel y'all. Because because we had the Arthur Smith conversation like probably like 2 weeks ago, and I get you. It's Arthur Smith. I think he should go, but that QB room that y'all got too is god awful.
Oh,
Ritter, terrorist.
but
Tail
wait,
Heineke, terrorist.
but
Like,
wait, Trent.
Yeah, Heineke is a terrorist.
But I'm also putting that on Arthur Smith because going into the offseason after you had Marcus Mariota starting for most of the year, you know what Arthur Smith did going into the offseason? He went to the front office and banged the table for Desmond Ritter. That is your fault. Again, practicing malpractice. That is on you. You gotta go. I'm sorry.
And Trent, me and Trent have gone back and forth in this ever since the draft. I thought it was a bad idea for them to draft Bijan Robinson, not because he's not a good player, but because I felt like Jalen Carter would have been so much more beneficial to this team because they already had
he
a
had to get out
1,000-yard
of Georgia,
rush.
bro. He had to get out of Georgia.
Stop it, sports talk. Jalen
No,
Carter.
he
had to get out of Georgia,
There was
bro.
no way. There was no way they was gonna let a
He
Georgia
had to get
player
out of Georgia. He had to get out of the state of Georgia.
No
right?
way. Yeah, that's
He had to get out of the state of Georgia.
Even if y'all
Unfortunately,
drafted Jalen Carter, I think the same thing would be happening right now. The same predicament. We still be talking about is it time to fire Arthur Smith? We the same thing that we still be using.
But again, Trent, I've been on the train. I think it's easier to find a running back than it is to find an elite edge rusher. And I'm going to die on that hill. I'm absolutely going to die on that hill.
Think about it. He has a lot more help up there in Philadelphia right now. He doesn't have the same amount. The only person that he would have had right beside him was Grady Jarrett down there. And like I said, he had to get out of the state of Georgia after all of those off the field issues. And as bad as I wanted him to be in Atlanta, he had to get out of the state, and I was happy for him in order to do that.
I was just about to say, look, everybody keeps bringing up Jalen Carter tagged with all these other teams because earlier in the year when the Lions were kind of having issues with some of their run fits, it was you should have took Jalen Carter. Why'd you take Jahmyr Gibbs? You should have taken Jalen Carter. The reality is, because of what was going on with that kid, because we only know the stuff that was reported. Like there's other stuff that I'm sure came with taking Jalen Carter. The only reason he went to the Eagles is because that was the only team that could take him and feel comfortable doing so. They literally had his handlers from the previous season in their locker room. That is the only reason they felt comfortable doing so. He was only going to go to the Eagles. That's the reality. Like, as much as we didn't want him to go to the Eagles and you didn't want the rich to get richer, that was the only place he was going to go because that was the only place that was going to feel comfortable taking him with what had to come with him. So, yeah, I'm not putting that on the Falcons. I'm not.
Hey, last words. We keep going on. It's time to fire, bro.
Yeah, man. It's truth be told, man, everyone pretty much summed it up perfectly. Arthur Smith, he didn't bring the offensive pedigree and the schematics that they thought they were going to have with him. It's not even more so just about him not designing or helping benefit the offense in its terms of the play design itself. It's just he's not making an important emphasis to get the ball in the hands of the guys who are his most impactful players. And that's the biggest issue. But I've said this for the past 2 years, ever since I seen Desmond Ritter going back to college. I mean, he just never had it for me, bro. Like, he never looked the part. And I, for the life of God, just did not understand why the Falcons were just hell-bent on trying to see what they had with this guy. I mean, listen, I get it. We watch these guys on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays. I get it. We see what the product is on the field. But they watch these dudes every single day. They practicing 3-4 days out the week. There's no way anyone is going to sit there and tell me they watch Desmond Ritter 3-4 days out the week for 3 months in training camp for OTAs and sit there and tell me, you know what, this guy got it. He's the guy. I'm not buying that shit, bro. I'm not buying it. And to me, that goes back to coaching because you see what you have in this guy. And if you really convince yourself that it was good enough, you can't be the guy, bro. You can't be the guy.
All right. Warnock, how you feel about it? You think he should be getting on, bro?
Hey, if 999 people out of 1,000 people say you crazy, then you crazy, bro.
I'm with it. Hey.
Nigel?
Yes, no, I think he should be fired. I think real quick, I think he was a little bit underqualified to begin with. I think a lot was made of what he did in Tennessee. But when you have Derrick Henry, when you have a guy like Tannehill that's pretty effective in the play action, like that's like hand gifted to you. You use Derrick Henry to set up plays for AJ Brown and for Corey Davis and all these guys, and bam, you have a pretty good offense and it's able to take you to the playoff. I don't think what Arthur Smith did in Tennessee was so crazy that he should have been like this high-level head coaching candidate in the first place. And I think once he got here, he got more power, and he wanted to do what he did in Tennessee. You got Desmond Ridder, who's supposed to be Ryan Tannehill-esque, and he's not even that, really. And you draft all these skill position guys to not use him. No, I think he definitely should be fired. I'm surprised he's still the coach right now, like, honestly. So, yeah, I think he should be gone.
All right, bet for sure. I ain't gonna lie. Well, you might say I'm bugging, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, CD better than a lot of people that we don't want to talk about, bro.
Like who?
CD.
Hey, CD better than Terry, I think, Warnock, because them hands is getting better, bro. He don't have them little bad drops he was having these past few years, bro. This nigga CD been bugging, bro. It's coming more of a conversation with me, bro. And
they close though. They close.
And you already know how I feel about the AJ Brown talk. I already think that it's way closer than what people talk about, honestly. But like,
I'm not as big as on AJ Brown as everybody else.
Hey, CD, I think CD is that ass. Oh, out of damn Siri shit. But nah,
but he could be 9-10.
Nah, bro. Nah.
He can be 9-10.
I think he might be
Nah,
top
CD for sure, top 10 for sure.
I think he might be top 8 because when you just look at CD's game, his hands are actually getting they're getting way better. His contested catching is getting way better. I already think he's an elite route runner, and his yak is getting different. Like his yak is one of the ones. So I'm like,
he definitely like that after the catch.
That's what I'm saying. He's still a really good at a deep threat. You can put him anywhere, versatile as hell. He's gonna be put in these conversations that people might not want to like. So I'm not gonna lie.
You think he better than Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen right now?
I think he's clearly better than both of them. I don't even think
he's way better than both of them. He's way better than both of them.
Yeah,
I agree. I
I'm low on Amari Cooper and have been for
years because of his hands. But it's just like, bro, because I get the AJ Brown talk. He's tweaking. He broke Calvin Johnson's consecutive yard record, but he don't clear CD. I swear to God, he don't. Especially as a wide receiver that we're talking about.
Nigel, he doesn't, bro.
He doesn't, bro. Nigel,
that's not even. It's not a knock on CD. You know, I like CD. I like CD. I've been a CD guy.
You can't. But I'm saying you can't really make a justification that's really a big ass separator that's gonna make it really say that AJ Brown is clearly better than CD. You can't.
What is CD better at than AJ?
Easily.
Easily? I think easily is nuts. You could say he's better. You could say he's better at route running. I'll probably agree. Easily is a little crazy.
I think the biggest separate between them two is routes. I think when we talk about who's that better, I think CD Lamb is head and shoulders above AJ Brown when it comes to route running. In and out of breaks, selling routes, I think for sure. And
I think he's for sure better.
Bro, Trey, I know you give me that face, bro. I done seen this shit right next to me, bro. I done worked out. This nigga routes is different, bro.
I know.
this nigga routes is crazy, bro. And I'm sorry. I've seen AJ Brown's routes is not CD Lamb. That's why I'm saying you can say AJ Brown is better than CD Lamb. That's not really my issue. But I damn near want to say it's flip-flop. You can go either way.
I can't say that. If routes is your determining factor and you say CD is better at routes, which I would agree with, you still have to consider everything else. And I think everything else.
I think to me, everything else is close because even though AJ Brown is probably like a top 3 yak, shit, CD probably top 5, top 7. Like I'm saying, like everything that we're talking about in these wide receivers are super close. That's why I said
I was just about to say, look, if we're being honest, I think AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, in terms of skill set, are all kind of
I think they've always still been.
they're all kind of in that same little cluster. They're all just slightly different from each other. Like the guy who's more of the physical specimen of the group is obviously AJ. Is obviously AJ.
The one with the CD.
The guy who's kind of like Mr. Do It All, like the smooth guy is CD. No, it's CD.
Oh, you think it's CD?
I think he's Mr.
The smooth guy. I agree.
I
think
like
it's
he's
CD.
the smooth guy, Mr. Do It All. I can throw you on the outside. I can throw you in the slot, and you're just like his move. Like, not to say that he's not an explosive athlete, because he is, but he's more of a smooth guy. Like, even Trent, you've seen him, like him hitting that rocker step where it's 1, 2, 3. Like, it's very, like, everything about his game is always real smooth. And then the guy who's probably like the most well-rounded
Terry.
is going to be Terry.
Yeah. But I'm saying, though, all I'm saying is that, because I get it. AJ Brown, he's bugging right now. He got a K already in 9 games. CD about to have 900 right now because he just went for 200 yards the other day. So all I'm saying is that them two are super close, because that's why I don't think AJ Brown, because I don't think CD Lamb and AJ Brown or Terry, not yet. I don't think they're in the tier with the Diggs, Jettis, Adams.
No.
Or even Cup. I don't think they're there yet.
Or okay, hold on. If Diggs and Adams,
you said what?
You think he better than Jamar Chase?
Who?
CeeDee Lamb.
Oh no. I'm gonna say Jamar too.
No.
I don't think so. Nah. What was you about to say, Nigel?
If those top guys did what AJ Brown did, what would y'all be? And I'm not even a production. I'm not even like, I don't only care about the production. I've never been like that. I care about the entire package. But if Stephon Diggs, if Devontae, if any of these guys did what AJ Brown just did, we'd be talking
that's
about
what I've been saying.
Is he the best receiver in the league?
But time out.
Conversations though.
And
I'm not even saying
me specifically. You can ask me. Will you ask Warnock, Trey? I don't think like that, because when Cup went for a triple crown, that wasn't like he was bugging. He went for almost 2K, and I wasn't saying that he was a top 5 guy, and you know that.
Yeah, I just think it's the skill set, Nigel. Like, when you look at them top 3 dudes, most people got like Jettis, Tay, and Diggs, or maybe Tyreek Hill, depending on who you talk to. It's just the routes. I think the routes is just so far off. Like, he just doesn't run routes like those 3 dudes I just named.
And I get it. Now, here's the thing, though. Like, that's why I'm never a production guy. Maybe I think maybe I'm not. I don't know if you're not. But I thought you said something. But all these top 5 guys have crazy production with all these guys. Diggs go for 1,500. Jettis go for 1,800. Tay Adams just went for 1,500, like 14 touchdowns. So all these guys have crazy production. Then when we go to the skill set, I think that's where we separate. Because I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can't say that AJ Brown is better than these guys just because he's playing better than them. I can't go with that logic, because that's the case.
However, I to combat that, though, no one's ever made it into the Hall of Fame besides for Joe Namath with bad stats. You got to produce at a certain point, right? When we talk about that upper echelon, you gotta talk about the production. But this is why
Eli gonna make it in with
the
bad
dudes
stats.
we named producing though.
But hold on. But the thing is, though, we just chill out. But hold on, wait. But this is the thing, sports talk. The guys that we're talking about, and that y'all trying to put AJ Brown in this conversation, for the past 5-6 years, production has been off the rip. That's why I say, like, if you're about to say that Cooper Kupp, you can talk about Cooper Kupp's game without talking about the Triple Crown. So that's why if you think Cooper Kupp was top 2 because he won a Triple Crown, you're stat watching. That's just what it is. Because you can talk about how he's a top 5 route runner in the game, how he has one of the best hands in the game. You can talk about that. But again, we talk about his skill set more than the stats. That's why we talk about these top receivers. That's why I go more to the skill set, because all these guys have elite production. If you're going to tell me AJ Brown is better than Stephon Diggs because he has 100 more yards than him, like, bro, come on.
No, I get that. But, and to your point about CD, there's only 4 guys in the league right now averaging over 100 yards a game. That's Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, and CD Lamb. So, and again, as far as production, I do think to an extent you have to include the production. I mean, if the guy is – because if you totally disregard production –
Smitty, the best receiver in the league.
No, okay, no, because that's what I'm saying. I think when it comes to like the back half or like the top 15-ish, like I'm not gonna lie, like Debo, when he had his 2020 year, yeah, I moved him up a lot because bro, what he did that year, he was bugging out. And he's still to this day one of the best accuracy receivers in the league. But you involved in production. Once you start getting to the elite of the elite, when all these guys have crazy production, getting 1,500, 1,400, or getting like 1,300 with like 15 TDs, I can't just say like, oh, this guy's better because he had 200 more yards and 2 more touchdowns than him. Because that's OD stat watching. Like, that's just the definition of it. You got to talk about how these players do better than the other. You have to. Like, that's just what it is.
Right.
But I don't think you give enough credit to, which is weird because you have Megatron so high like I do. I don't think you give enough credit to the physical specimen, like the physical dominance that a player imposes, like AJ Brown to CeeDee Lamb, right? So like when we talk about skill comparisons, I understand the route running, but like that physically imposing player, I find that more valuable when you have something like a physical attribute that's so, out of this world like that. Granted, like Tyreek Hill's the best example, right? With his speed, Megatron with just his insane, everything about that guy, just everything about him, right?
The reason why I don't really do that much the physical part.
Terrell Owens.
I've seen speed and power get locked the hell up. I've seen power get locked the fuck up a lot of times. I've seen a lot of speed get locked up, just like Tyreek Hill. Christian Gonzalez, a rookie, put him in a 4x4. He put him in a 4x4, and he's a rookie. One-on-one, no help. So that's why I kind of don't do that, because you start picking and choosing where we starting to go when we talk about these physical specimens and speed demons, and that's why I just go straight to the skill set. So that's what I'm saying.
The only thing I'll give you to push back on that, Trent, is you brought up Christian Gonzalez. The reason why Christian Gonzalez was able to put Tyreek Hill in a box that game is because Tyreek is a world-class sprinter. You know who else is a world-class sprinter and comes from a family full of world-class sprinters? Christian Gonzalez. That's the thing. Like,
but I think his technique, though, like in his skill set, because he was putting hands on him.
His technique and all of those things obviously help him be the player that he is. That's why he was a first-round pick. But having that kind of raw ability to start with is rare. That's why guys like him get drafted, because they're drafted to stop guys like Tyreek, because it's literally fighting fire with fire. The only way you're going to be able to keep up with a dude who runs as fast as Tyreek Hill is, hey, I basically need to find somebody who runs almost as fast as Tyreek Hill. But
I just feel like, as of like, when we talk about these wide receivers, why I hate using like, oh, this guy produced more, like, because again, all these receivers have the top of the top production. Because I'm gonna give you a perfect example, Trey. If you thought in the 7-year stretch that AB was if you ever thought AB was better than Julio, you should have never changed your mind. Never. That whole 6-year stretch. No matter how many, because there's been times where Julio has more yards. There's been times AB has more yards and touchdowns. But I'm saying, though, they're closest. I think AB is better. But people will say, oh, there have been some years Julio was better, been some years AB was better. And I highly disagree on that, because just because somebody has the better looking stats, that don't mean that they're a better player.
Yeah, and at the same time, I
never thought
Julio was allergic to the end zone, and I'm a Falcons fan.
Yeah, I never thought it is either. But all I'm just saying is, just based off the production standpoint, is that like there's not every year a player gets better. There's just a play. There could be a player that can play. The stats look crazy, but they're the same exact player. Like from AB from like 2013, like 2018, which is him. He didn't really get better. He was literally just the same guy, just bugging out every year. Julio Jones is the same way. So that's what I'm saying. There's nothing really you're going to say that elevates these guys and make them better than each other, unless you're just saying, oh, this one had more. He had like 1,800 yards versus AB had 1,500 yards. That's why I'm taking Julio. And I think that's just stat watching. That's just why I highlight that.
The only thing that AB had over Julio was AB can get you touchdowns. Like I said, Julio was allergic to the end zone, brother.
And a lot of people, and we've been talking a lot about hands this podcast too. AB hands was by far better than Julio's, by far.
To me,
that wasn't close.
Routes too.
Routes too. Routes too was different. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. But hey, but nah, CD is dead ass him. But nah, speaking of the Cowboys, bro, They was mad close to winning that game. And I know we don't do the more victories here, but though, because of how Dak Prescott played, I'm gonna start with you, Trey. Do you think the Cowboys should have a little bit of optimism about that and heading into the playoffs?
No. Why would they have any optimism? Why?
Thank you.
Okay, again, I'm going to say that, like, if I end up turning into the Stephen A of this podcast because I keep reciting the same thing about the Cowboys, forgive me, but I'm not backing off of it. The last time they won anything of consequence, like you said, I was 3 years old. I'm 30 now. Like, it doesn't.
Damn.
That's crazy. Don't do me like that.
Hey, don't feel bad. I'm 36, bro.
Right.
Damn.
Y'all crazy. I'm dead.
I'm old.
I had to do it to him.
That's crazy.
Damn!
I'm old.
But nah, for real, like, honestly, like, it doesn't matter what they do. It does not matter how well Dak plays and comes up a yard short in the game. Like, bruh, it's going to be the same story until proven otherwise. There is no reason for hope. Like, why are we talking about hope when they lost a close game that truthfully they should have won? Like Dak, I get it. You stepped out of bounds because Brandon Graham was chasing you. Realistically speaking, if Brandon Graham is chasing me, one, I'm getting tackled and it's going to be very painful. Two, I'm probably also not going to be paying attention to the sideline. But you know what? That's why I'm not the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Sir, it's your job to kind of pay attention to that sideline. So I'm just saying, what are we talking about here? There is no hope for the Cowboys. No. Like, there's no hope here.
And Trey, does it not amaze you of how McCarthy and Dak year after year cannot figure out time management, cannot figure out game management? It is amazing how it's the same mistakes every single time.
Okay, in fairness to Dak, the one thing I will say is I can't fully blame him in terms of the time management because since he's been in the league, he's had two coaches who were poor clock managers. Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy.
That's why I said game management and time management, and I gave it to both of them, and I blamed the both of them.
Yeah,
because like you said about stepping out of bounds and everything else.
I blame Dak for something he was never taught.
Yeah, Brandon Cook's open too, man.
Like, I can't. Okay, I kind of okay.
But it amazes me how after year, an important game after important game, you make the same damn mistakes. It's incredible. Like, this is the definition of insanity.
But here's my thing, though, bro. I don't really GK for the Cowboys, but the only reason why I say they should have a little bit of optimism. But one, they really lost the game because Terrence still played like a terrorist. He played like dog water. He literally gave up a 10-yard sack. You said what, Nigel? That's my boy lagging again. Oh, Lord. That's tough. I don't know. He frozen. But nah, y'all still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Right. It's just like Dak played. I ain't like Dak was the best quarterback out there. Dak was the best
player out there.
He was the best. I want to get at the CD, but he was really Dak was the best quarterback out there. He played phenomenal.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
And Terrence still really sold him bad because they were literally on the 10-yard line. You have a false start, and then you give up another like an 11-yard sack because Terrence still been getting whooped all game. And realistically, bro, like it just kind of shows. I mean, of course they got to play a game, but like, bro, they have a good chance. Now again, they are the Cowboys, and like how we said about the 49ers, they're the San Francisco Cowboys, and they never get it done. But like, I want to see at least how this go, bro. Because if Dak is playing like that, bro, if Dak is playing like I'm telling you right now, Trey, if Dak is playing like that, they can do something.
If Dak is playing,
that's the big if.
It is.
Like we say down south, if a frog had a square ass and ate mud, he'd shit bricks. So
right, like what are we talking about? Like if we'd all be drunk, like
what are these sayings?
Champs just got him locked and loaded. It's the
Bro, he
dirty.
got hundreds in the tank. Oh my god.
Look, all I'm saying is this: if Dak plays that well, that's great. He'll probably have something else go wrong at some point. Why? Because they are literally a walking accident, and they have been for 20 some odd years. Like, I don't know why. Like, we sit here and do the same thing over and over with them every year. They are a walking accident. They just happen to be the most valuable franchise in sports, so people have to talk about them because they have such a sprawling fan base. But the reality is, they're going to find a way to fail in spectacular fashion this year, the same way they've done in the years past. Why? Because that is what they do best. Fail in spectacular fashion. And
If these wasn't the Cowboys that we were talking about, would we really be talking about hope here?
no, we wouldn't.
No.
Nah, that's not true. That's not true.
If it was the Falcons, or any
You know
other
why that's
team,
not true? You know why that's not
Huh?
true? We have the San Francisco Cowboys, who people always give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Always
Because
talking
a lot
about
of teams get the benefit of the doubt and losses.
to be honest
They've
with
been
you,
doing it
at
for
least
years.
with the 49ers, they're making deep playoff runs. They're winning playoff games. They're making it to Super Bowls. With the Cowboys, they're not even winning playoff games.
But here's the thing, though. This is why I say they're the San Francisco Cowboys and they're the prettier version. They just make it farther and lose. Again, like the last time they've won, champ, you was probably a little kid, and Trey, you was 3. Like,
I was 7. I was 7 when I was 8 years old when San
Trey,
Francisco
I was alive.
49ers won
Bro, the last
Super Bowl.
time they won a Super Bowl, John Madden was still on the cover of Madden. Like, that's how it was, bro. Like, y'all haven't, like, both of these teams haven't made it far. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's just like, I don't know. I like how the Cowboys was looking, bro, and I liked how Dak played because it's an eye opener. Because when he's rolling, the Cowboys look pretty solid, though, bro. That's all I got.
But the problem is, it never coexists.
coexists.
It's either Dak and the team is bad, or the team is good and Dak is bad. It's never in unison, and I never understand how that can happen. And not to mention, I think Tony Pollard is not exactly what we've expected, up to this point.
No, he's been a major disappointment.
Yeah. So as far as that goes,
why are they not using Deuce Vaughn?
that's what I've been wondering. But
wait, Tony Pollard exists.
that's what I just said. He's been underwhelming for the year, though.
Yeah, but
for
why
what we
did
were
Dutcher fail?
expecting out of him for this year, he's been underwhelming.
But
the thing is, whenever it's just like clockwork, you already can guess it. Whenever it comes down to a major moment, they're going to drop the ball every time.
All right. Last word. How you feel about him?
I mean, I get where everyone's coming from, man. But to say there's no hope, that's a little bit crazy, bro.
It's a disingenuous, bro.
Listen. I get it. It's 20 years worth of proof of it. I get it, bro. But this is a week-to-week league and a season-to-season business, bro. Like, we can feel however we want to feel about the end results of last night. I get it. They ended up losing in grand fashion. But like I said previously, Dak Prescott, he was the best player on the team, on any side of the field, for any team, the game, bro. Like, he literally played arguably his best game I've seen in the past 2-3 years. This dude, he went out there, he showed you that he can compete against the better defenses and teams in this league. And they did it on the road. I think a lot of people are discounting that. Like, when you go into a hostile environment like Philly and you play your best effort, I'm sorry, bro, there's something positive to take from that. And I get it. They are the Dallas Cowboys. They found ways to lose in grand fashion. They sparkled out. I get it. But at the end of the day, you got your franchise guy playing at a really good level right now. He's starting to get into a rhythm with his receiver core out there. CeeDee Lamb damn near went for 200 yards in the game. And you're getting the ball to your playmakers, and that's something he wasn't doing the beginning of this season. And he's starting to get a little comfortable because we're watching him from a week-to-week basis. He's gotten better damn near every week they played. Now, he has slumps here and there. I'm not saying he hasn't, but he's gotten more comfortable in the system with Mike McCarthy calling the plays. And I got to give them credit for that. They're finding what they are good at. They're finding out who they truly are, their identity. And I think that is something you can take as a plus. Now, Does that mean they're gonna go to the NFC Championship or something? No. But to say is no hope, I think that's a little far fetched, bro. Because it's like what Trent was saying, we give a lot of teams grace. We gave the Bengals grace all damn season at the beginning of this year, and they look like shit. They started putting it together now though. We get the Niners shit. They just lost three straight games, but everyone said they'll figure it out. Kyle Shanahan's a genius. So if we're gonna do that for those teams who aren't really the successful franchises of the league either, why people can't say the Cowboys got somewhat of a glaring spark of hope? I just don't see the reason why.
Nigel, how you feel about him?
I feel like I'm a Dak. I like Dak. I think Dak's gotten too much slack for years. I know he's had his bad games, and I know he's had his bad playoff games, but I think a lot of it has been not necessarily the supporting cast, but just the chaos around the coaching and around really the cause of all of this, and which is why they've been this disappointment for the last, we're approaching 30 years now. It's the ownership. Jerry Jones hires puppets as head coach and keeps them in there to take all this blame when you're the one hiring them. He doesn't want to hire anybody that could be perceived as like stronger than him or some sort of strong personality that could get the Cowboys to the next level. As long as he keeps hiring coaches like Mike McCarthy. They said when Mike McCarthy, he won a Super Bowl, but he wants somebody that's like a clear subordinate to him. He doesn't want anybody with a strong personality that could actually take control of the team because he wants it. He doesn't want anybody else to have it. So as long as that, how old is he? Like 80 or something? As long as he's there, they won't do anything of relevance. They haven't made an NFC Championship game. They could, like, who knows? But they're probably not getting to the Super Bowl. They're definitely not winning a Super Bowl as long as Jerry Jones is there. And the team itself has always had talent. Like, always. They've had a good defense for like 3 years now. Micah Parsons is like a defensive player of the year caliber. Dak Prescott's been a very good quarterback for most of the last 8 years. They've had decent running games. This year it's slipped a little bit, but they've had decent run games. CeeDee Lamb, we're just talking about CeeDee Lamb might be a top 8 wide receiver. The talent has never been the issue. I'd argue the quarterback's never really been the issue. It's been the ownership. And because of the ownership, then the coaching is the biggest problem. So I know they played competitively against the Eagles and they should have won this game, but they didn't because of what's in place. So I don't really have much hope for them doing any big things.
Warnock, how you feel about them, gang?
How I feel about the Cowboys, I want to touch on the Eagles after and somebody on the Eagles. But how I feel about the Cowboys, I mean, I'm an Eagles fan, so I don't think the Cowboys is never going to win anything. Even with my bias to the side, like, I just don't see it at all. Dak, the crazy thing is, the one thing I don't like about the Cowboys, they quarterback, you can't really blame him this game. Like, he played great. So you can't really blame him. You could blame Tony Pollard a little bit, I guess, because he hasn't been playing as up to standard, but he did get hurt last season. Didn't he get hurt last season?
Yeah, the playoff game.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to touch on, it's not just this game specifically, but I don't like how the Eagles is treating Smitty, honestly. Like, I don't think the Eagles deserve Smitty at all. I feel like he should request a trade right now as we speak, literally.
You can't, though, because trade deadline over.
Yeah, I know he can't. I know he can't right now, but if I'm him, bro, I'm requesting a trade. Like, and it's not just this game specifically. I just feel like he doesn't get what he deserved, bro. Like, they don't throw the ball to him enough. Like, nearly enough to me, if you ask me. But overall, this game, the Cowboys could have, should have won, but they didn't, bro. And we came out on top. That's just how it is.
Yeah, facts. I'm not gonna lie. If Smitty ever went to a team where he's the primary number one, I can't wait. Like, this why I'll be, again, the stat watching argument is gonna piss me off because Smitty has always gonna be this guy. I remember when people were talking about last year that Waddle was clearly better, like way better than Smitty. I'm like, bro, like, come on, that's not even logical. Bro, Smitty's him, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, Smitty's real good.
Smitty's him, and I ain't gonna lie. I ain't like with this offense, just in this team in general, bro. Them Eagles just so Super Bowl or bust. and they about to get that talk too if they don't win something soon.
Yeah, that's a fact. I do agree with that.
They got a 2-year window for real, man.
They
Two,
need
maybe 3 years.
because
Maybe.
the team is too OD, bro. I'm not gonna lie. The team is too crazy to where you shouldn't be doing something though, at least though, bro.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Go ahead.
Thing real quick. As much as I like Dak, and as much as I think he's a pretty good quarterback, we got to start talking about this Eagles secondary and what they've allowed to some of these quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins back in what was it, week 2?
Yeah,
sliced them. I know they won the game, but like he cooked them.
Sam
Back
Howell.
when Justin Jefferson was healthy. That's exactly what I was just going to bring up. Sam Howell gashed him twice. Sam Howell, who takes like 6 sacks a game, sliced them.
Yeah.
Like this secondary is not like it's not up to par. Their safety's not good. I don't like their linebackers.
After they
like,
went and got Kevin Byard too.
Byard on the way, Nigel.
No. They could get better. I'm not arguing that. But I'm just saying up to this point, it just has not been good for that defense. It's regressed a lot, and I think a lot of it is
Facts
due to them playing like actual quarterbacks this year. Because last year, I know the Eagles defense was good, but they got some breaks with some of the
their corner play.
I just wanted to mention that.
Their corner play has definitely gotten worse. Bradbury is having a horrible season, man.
I mean, I told
he is older though.
I told, bro,
He
been
is.
old. I'm not
gonna hold you, man. I never looked at him as the all-pro corner.
What I tell you, bro, when he had the
never been that to me.
When he had the great year in 2020, our Giants defense was getting mad pressure. Now you look at when he went to the Eagles, y'all was getting mad pressure, and he looked at all-pro corner. When y'all don't get that pressure, sometimes he's barbecue chicken. So
the crazy thing is, bro, like if you actually watched it, you don't think he really looks like an all-pro corner. He's just doing his job at like a very
elite level. Yeah,
yes, for sure. He's not like no ball hawk or nothing. Like
I want to ask this question, bro, because you know Derrick Henry is still top 5 in rushing yards as we speak, and I just want to ask a question, see where y'all had this at, because he of course we know the 370 death and we know the age about running backs, and he's still looking like he's still one of them guys. So my question is that if he keeps this up just for like another year or two, even then, maybe like just give it like a year. A year or two. Where does he rank all time? I'll start with you, Trey.
I would probably say top 10. He's gotta be in that conversation. He's gotta be in that conversation alone because he's one of 7 dudes to run for 2K.
No, he don't.
No. Look.
Nah, he's not top 10.
You can't say that. You can't say that statement, Trey, because if that's the case, then Trey, you think Jamal Lewis is top 10?
Probably not. I'd probably have to go back and look at his career.
Dickerson is. I mean, it's a decent indicator. I get what you're saying.
It's a decent indicator, but
the reality is most of the dudes who hit that 2K mark are in the top 10.
Besides Chris Johnson, because his career ain't last that long.
Chris Johnson, it's like Chris Johnson and Jamal Lewis are the only 2 dudes that are like, we not really fucking with them for real. Like everybody else, no, they're in that discussion. Also, like as much as I've been a Derrick Henry critic, the man has dominated the NFL off of like 3 runs. That's crazy as hell. Like that man can only run ISO, outside zone,
inside zone,
toss. That's all they got. That's the entire playbook when they run.
They don't even really do inside zone like that. Yeah.
They don't do it like that. And they run some stretches.
They don't run.
Yeah,
inside.
like a yeah.
They run some. Yeah, they do run some.
Requires that you have quick feet, and he don't have that. But when he get to his 4th step, it's over. He run 3. They got 3 plays, and you know the 3 plays, and he's still gonna whoop your ass with them 3 plays.
That's funny.
Yeah, like just off of that, I'm just like, as much as I was never a huge fan of him, nah, bro. Even if you put him at 10, to me, you got to at least put him at 10.
I would say that I think peak for peak, like at his best, I'll probably say He's top 15. Yeah, top.
Maybe.
I don't know if I don't know if I can name 15 running backs that I would comfortably put in front of Derrick Henry.
Probably not. No.
Do you think Jamal Charles is better than Derrick Henry?
No.
I do, but
Why not though?
I do, but that's close. That's very close. That's close.
Jamal
That's
Charles
close.
is nice though, boy.
It's
I
not
don't
comfortable.
think that's that
Eagles
close.
Nation. Wait, real quick. Eagles Nation. That is cap, but I'm glad you hear it was good though. I don't see trade. That's because it's like when we get to these running backs, like I know because I know how I feel about like you're a running back, your main position is a running back, but there's just so many good running backs, and it's not a knock if Derrick Henry isn't top 15. It's not a knock.
Look, I hear you. I'm just saying if we're talking about pure runners of the football, like dominant football players at that position specifically, like the only thing Derrick Henry did at an elite level throughout the course of his career is run the football. Because if we talk about him in the pass game, it is subpar. If we talk about him as a pass protector for a guy who was a behemoth at running back, he has been below average /
Yeah, facts. So Trey, let me ask you this, bro. Let me ask you this. This is gonna be a hot take, but I'm gonna ask you a question to get to where I'm going.
Okay.
There's a running back that is in a damn near in the same is basically the same tier as a runner, an elite runner, big as fuck, big as hell. Basically damn near the same size as Derrick Henry. It's just as explosive, can run in between the tackles, stiff arm niggas, and he has the burst and whatever, and he's a better receiving back than him.
You talking about Steven Jackson?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I know it's a hot take, but I generally believe that Steven Jackson's better than him.
I
generally believe that because Trey, we talk about running in between the tackles, explosiveness, and we talking about like the nigga Steven Jackson was like 6'2", 245.
Yeah,
and he was running through niggas, and he was still a great receiving back.
I was just about to say, look,
that's what I'm saying. I might.
Yeah, I mean,
if you want to talk about better,
first receiver in the league to get 1,500 yards and 800 yards receiving.
And he's 6'2", and he's 6'2", 240, bro.
Look,
With Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce with him, like that shit is fucking insane. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't really.
I'm not discounting what you're saying. Like if you're asking me who I would rather have on my team, I'm taking Steven Jackson. But if we're talking about running backs, pure runners of the football, like peak for peak, like to use y'all shit, he doesn't have a peak that's as high as Derrick Henry as a runner of the football. He doesn't.
Why are we lying?
Nah, he don't. He don't.
He doesn't.
I just think
let's not count.
Look, I'm not trying to say he doesn't have a high peak that comes close, but like I said, there are I want you to think about
it's only 8 niggas.
The amazing running backs that we have seen. There are only 7 dudes that ran for 2.
Hey, Ray, I'm gonna get that takeoff later in the offseason, but I'm going Derrick Henry, but Marshawn Lynch overrated as fuck. But hey, that's another comment for another day. I genuinely believe that shit.
I don't do beast mode like that, man.
I fuck with beast mode, bro. I just feel like
I love Marshawn, but I
love Marshawn.
I ain't gonna say he the AI of football where niggas just talk about his moments only.
Nah, chill.
Bro, that shit pissed me off, bro. I don't like niggas when talk about Marshawn Lynch. Always bring up Beastquake. Like I get it, bro. That shit happened, but you got to talk about more than that, bro. But Marshawn was nice though. I'll go there.
Marshawn
He led the league in touchdowns twice, so I mean,
he was
tough.
Look, Derrick Henry.
He was the vocal point of a.
I was just about to say,
winning team, man. You gotta take that into consideration.
Look, the thing.
I see LOB on the other side, but hey, I digress.
All right, look. The issue
he was that offense,
Marshawn.
Yeah, he facts.
The issue with Marshawn is if we're looking at career, it's borderline Hall of Fame, but he's kind of become a folk hero in his later years in terms of like what he means to the game. So that's probably why he is put in some of these conversations. But yeah, no, back to your original point. I get what you're saying with Steven Jackson, but no, like I said, when less than 10 people at that position have ever done that, and you consistently, it's not like where's a Chris Johnson where it's like, oh, okay, cool. I had this one crazy year, and then I kind of came back down to earth. It was like, cool. I ran for 2K, then I ran for like 1,800, then I ran for like 1,500. Like,
real quick. Eagles Nation. If you want to say who's playing better right now than Jalen Hurts, I mean, I guess you can say he's top 3, but I mean,
I don't even know if you could say that. I don't even know if you could.
At one point, Baker Mayfield was playing better than Joe Burrow. Who fucking cares, bro? Nobody gives a fuck, bro. Nobody. Like,
also, he's not playing at a top 3 level. That's not even arguable. I don't think.
Who you think's playing better than Jalen Hurts right now?
Who playing top 3?
Lamar is playing better.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen is playing better than Jalen Hurts.
I do agree on that.
And
too.
honestly, I would take Mahomes' season over Hurts, and Mahomes hasn't even been all that compared to his normal standard. I would take Mahomes' season.
Yep.
I mean, I definitely do.
So just fuck the first 4-5 weeks of the season then, because Joe Burrow was not playing top 3 the first month of football.
I didn't say Joe Burrow.
He didn't say Joe Burrow.
He said Josh Allen, Lamar, and Patty.
My bad. I thought you said Joe Burrow.
Hey, back to that whole conversation with
Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Shady McCoy should be in that conversation?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
LaShawn McCoy is way better than Derrick Henry. Way better.
Way better?
Way better.
Way better.
You guys
crazy. That is fucking crazy.
Why is that? Why
better.
Why you think LaShawn McCoy is way better?
That might be a little nasty.
I think he's a better runner than him, and that's mostly what he brings to the table. And pass catching, he's way better than him too.
Okay.
And I could do way more with him as well. That's why I would never take Derrick Henry on my team. But objectively, he's better than most people. But nah, he's not better than Shady. No.
I don't think Derrick Henry's better than Shady either. I don't either because like Shady was different, bro. Like Shady, like bro, if Adrian Peterson didn't exist in the 2010s,
yeah, you're
he
right.
would be the best running back in the 2010s.
You're not.
AP was a fucking dog, boy.
And I'm not gonna lie, and I don't even think it would be close, Trey. Like I don't think it's the discussion.
If Jamal Charles had longevity, it would be a conversation. But
okay, him too.
If he had longevity,
I think it was like if you take Adrian Peters out of the 2010s running backs, I think to me it's probably like just the best backs is probably Shady, Jamal, Arian Foster, and then you can probably go whoever would fuck you want to name. Honestly,
Derrick Henry got to be on that list.
I was about to say that's what you.
Derrick Henry has to be on that list.
Nah, he's more Derrick Henry because Derrick Henry his breakout year was like 2019. And I probably
he didn't have longevity in it. I mean,
honestly, if we're talking about the 2010s and especially if they at their best, Saquon probably top 5.
Was the 2010s?
Just off 2018, I will probably take 2018 Saquon over Jordan.
I'm trying to think.
You said 2018 Saquon.
I think I'll probably say I'll take 2018 Saquon over Zeke. I swear to God, I would. I'll take 2018 Saquon over.
I'm not mad at that either.
I take 2018 Saquon might be over Le'Veon Bell.
Nope.
Me.
Whoa. Hold on.
I don't think that's crazy.
I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, I like Saquon too.
I'm not gonna lie. Personally, I would take. Yeah, Le'Veon Bell was like that. Le'Veon Bell was like that. I'm talking about because Trey, we're talking about the best version. Because you all know
1 year, right?
And Saquon has regressed a little bit because of his knee injuries. Saquon 2018 was crazy with the worst O-line in the league.
Oh yeah,
I'll give you the only people I'll really give you. So
Peterson.
To make an argument at the back end, it's probably Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell. And one of them I'm taking Saquon over.
Look,
I would take.
Yeah. If you wanted to tell me, cool, I'm gonna take rookie Saquon over Todd Gurley. Cool. I'm not really mad at that because to me, it's kind of what and what. When we start talking about Le'Veon, what Le'Veon did in Pittsburgh was so. Well, no. Let me go.
Go ahead. Go. I'm saying I'm gonna ask something to you. Later. Just go ahead.
What Le'Veon did for that offense and the way they did him has to be one of the most criminal stories in recent football history. Because we all talk about how great Antonio Brown was in that offense, but the reality is that man was their number one rusher and their number two receiver, and not a number two receiver in the sense of like, hey, I'm Austin Eckler and I'm just running a bunch of swing routes and I get a ton of volume on checkdowns. No, they're splitting this man out wide and having him run routes like you were legitimately the number two receiver. And then when it was time for you to get paid, you was like, hey, can you throw a little bread on top? Because y'all be asking me to do a whole lot. I ain't asking you to give me a running back and a receiver's contract. I just need a little more sprinkle on top. And they said, yeah, go to the ninth circle of hell, buddy.
But here's the thing, though, bro. Well, first, I wanted to ask you, bro. You think Le'Veon is just like head and shoulders above Todd?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Head and I love I don't know. I don't know.
Wait,
I can
head and
argue with the
shoulders?
running.
Yes.
Head and shoulders.
I'm not.
Trey, come on, bro.
Wait, Trey.
You think
Head and
Trey,
you
think
great at
Le'Veon
explaining
Bell is
things,
head and
bro.
shoulders over Todd Gurley? That is crazy as fuck, bro.
Yes.
That's crazy as fuck, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Can you explain it though, Trey? You great at explaining things.
Okay,
You
cool.
give me a reason?
Well, this is what I'll think. Todd Gurley was the more explosive runner. If you said, hey, who's gonna be more of the big play threat? Like I'm gonna hand this off and I want a 60-yard TD on inside zone or outside zone. Yes, that's Todd Gurley. If you're asking me who's the better football player, like down in, down out, like I have more versatility with you. I can run inside zone. I can run gap schemes. The next play, I can throw you out wide. I can throw you in the slot and have you really run routes. Like, no, like he was a completely different level of a weapon.
And don't forget, he was the best pass blocking running back in the
I was
league.
about to
Too.
say,
he was a really good pass blocker.
and
He was
on top of
a
that,
great
you don't
pass
have to
blocking running
Yes.
back.
Yeah, he do got the pass block, and I'll give you that.
like
Yeah, I give you that. I give you
he's
that.
just like he was a different type of weapon. And on top of that, like when you talk about like people talk about like impact, the real impact of Le'Veon Bell is that they never had to go get another Antonio Brown after they got Antonio Brown until he left. Like it was, hey, like if you remember correctly, like we do realize like that whole lineage of receivers with the Steelers, it was Plexico Burress,
Mike Wallace.
Holmes. Then
Martavis Bryant was there.
it was Mike Wallace after that, and then they drafted Emmanuel Sanders and freaking Antonio Brown back to back. Like they were literally like constantly just trying to find another guy. They didn't bother trying to find another guy because they had found one in Le'Veon Bell.
But to go back on Saquon, bro, because I of course me and you, Trey, because of course our dad was there the year we drafted him. I don't think y'all niggas really realized what the fuck Saquon was doing in 2018.
Oh, he was bugging.
Like this one, that's one of the best rookie seasons ever for running back. Not even like that's not even debatable.
No,
It's
And then if we're talking about in terms of running the ball, explosiveness. Because Saquon, if we just want to talk about explosiveness, Saquon was the most explosive out of all three of them. Todd Gurley.
Yeah, I'm on Trent's side. I'm not even gonna lie.
And then if you want to talk, especially the receiving he did, they had like what 2,300 scrimmage yards. Bro was bugging, and Odell got injured mid-season, so it was just literally Eli Manning and Saquon Barkley. So, bro, like that's what I'm saying. We talking about the running
Eli
back.
Manning was garbage.
And he was
At that point,
garbage.
it was just Saquon.
It was literally just Saquon with the worst. I think we still had. Do we still have Aaron Flowers at that point?
I want to say we do.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, bro,
Probably.
wait, like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Come
Yeah.
on, bro. Come
Drafted in,
on.
what, 16?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're talking about the 2010s, and I know it's only 1 year, and I understand that, but that version of Saquon, I'm taking over the Frank Gores, the Le'Veon.
I agree with that.
What about the Priest Holmes?
Oh, wait.
Well, we're talking 2010s, right?
That's 20. That's 2000s.
Yeah,
Priest
that's
Holmes.
2000s. But damn, that I can't. I don't.
I got you, did
I'm taking
Because, bro,
Saquon.
it's just like because the thing is with Priest, bro, the nigga was almost like at his best was almost getting 30 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
I mean 30 touchdowns a season. And I'm like, bro, like,
Right here, yeah.
but I don't know. Saquon versatility moved me on that part. I ain't gonna lie. I swear to God it is. But I don't know, bro. I just feel like, yeah, bro. Saquon is one of the ones, bro. And it's sad that them injuries have slowed him down a little bit, even though he's still that guy. Is that, bro? 2018 Saquon, bro. That nigga was a different
And that
breed,
O-line.
bro. And that O-line was so bad that year, bro. That's why I say he was the best running back in the league, even though Zeke was leading rusher, bro. Like when you doing, that's why I always reward when you're doing more with less. And to translate into that, because I know on PSP came in because Sports Talk we was on Man Chant, we was talking about Myles Garrett versus TJ Watt literally yesterday. I'm gonna say this on my pod so I can get support. TJ Watt is not close to Myles Garrett. I understand the bro. He's not. He's not, bro. He's not. There is nothing on the field that you're really going to say that TJ Watt does better than Myles Garrett. If you want to say he gets more interceptions,
Coverage.
I
Yeah,
keep
coverage. Yeah.
I was about to say,
I keep telling people.
okay, but hold on, real quick. Hold on,
In Pittsburgh, it's the system, not the linebacker. People are not listening to me.
Besides coverage,
so you saying TJ Watt won't be doing this with any other system?
no, I'm not. We're not saying that.
We're not saying that. We're saying it's more so the system in Pittsburgh, not necessarily the linebackers, because they reel out Pro Bowl line. They reel out Pro Bowl linebackers like I reel out ham sandwiches in the daytime. So I mean, hey,
it's just check me out, bro. If you're gonna say that TJ Watt is better because he's a better coverage, even though Myles Garrett is clearly a better run stuffer and is definitely a better pass rusher,
even better edge,
and he's doing more. And he's doing more. The fact that I think he's the most doubled edge in the league, and is still producing like this at this high rate, bro. It's not a conversation, bro.
Hey, Trent, remember that question I asked you yesterday?
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I don't believe Myles Garrett isn't better, because I do believe Myles Garrett is the best edge rusher in the league. I think he does have that. But to say is not close, that's disingenuous.
It's not close, bro. It's
not close, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
Listen, the overall listen. Let me explain to you why it's disingenuous. Because the overall impact, and I know Champ just said that this is what Pittsburgh do. They breed these players, etc. But the overall impact that he has on the Steelers is second to none to any defensive player.
Isn't that the same impact James Harrison had?
But here's the thing, though.
I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is we cannot ignore the fact that when he's not on the field for the Steelers, they are literally a significantly worse defense.
But the thing is, though, too, you can say the same thing about Myles Garrett. And also, this is the first time ever Myles Garrett has ever had an actual good edge rusher besides him. Like, he finally got a dude like Zadarius Smith that can play alongside of him, bro. He's been
they've always had talent on their front seven, though, bro. Like, is Zadarius Smith the best he's had? I can agree with that for sure.
Yes, by far, because they had Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, you're right, because Jadeveon Clowney has not been the guy at all. But I think at one point they had Olivier Vernon was there at one point too, right?
Come on, we talking about Olivier Vernon now, gang.
Olivier Vernon was with Miami. The man he had his career high sacks before he went and ate this contract with the Browns. The man had a Pro Bowl season his first year with the Browns. I'm not saying the dude was special or spectacular, but if you're asking him to be your second best pass rusher, I don't think that's too far for him to do.
I generally believe that Myles Garrett is the Patrick Mahomes when it comes to edge rushers. I literally think Myles Garrett is in the tier of himself when it comes to edge rushers, and then you can go with TJ, Nick. I think it's more of a conversation to have between Max Crosby and TJ Watt more than TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett. If we keep it honest,
I would say Max Crosby is criminally underrated. I will say that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't get why. I just feel like TJ Watt gets he gets overrated because he won a DPOI and he was a sack leader before. I just feel like, bro, Myles Garrett is complete. I think to me, it's completely head and shoulders above him, bro. That's just how I feel about it, bro. Warner, how you feel about that, bro?
Nah, he's definitely way better than him. Like, even just for the simple fact, like, Myles Garrett lining up in front of the center, like, there's not a lot of people in the league who can do that at all. Aaron Donald, he can do that. He can, like, switch back and forth throughout anywhere on the line, but Myles Garrett, he's just different, bro. And plus, I don't think TJ Watt really does nothing better than him, so
besides coverage, and I'm not gonna lie, if we're gonna talk about coverage between these edge rushers, that's not moving.
Yeah, that's nasty.
That's what I'm saying though, like, because like I really feel like, because I guarantee you this one, when Myles Garrett wins Defensive Player of the Year, watch when people start saying he's finally the best edge rusher in the league. Watch, I guarantee you, because when you win an award, you get hyped up more than what you're supposed to, bro. That's just what it. I think that's just how it is when it comes to media and football. Like, look at Sauce.
Definitely how it is.
Look at Sauce, Warnock. Look at Sauce. He's a prime example because he's a prime example. Like I like Sauce's game. I like him coming out of college, but this is like, bro, he gets overrated.
Overrated
Badly. Hey,
I'm not gonna talk about him this season either. I ain't had nobody bring up Sauce.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Dexter Lawrence might be a top 2 nose tackle in the league. I ain't gonna lie. He might be a top 2 tackle in the league.
You think he better than Quentin Williams?
Yeah, I do, and I think, in the conversation between him and Chris Jones, because I still got AB1. It's an interesting conversation.
Hello.
Wait, whoa.
We're not doing.
Bro, wait. Time out.
Better than Chris Jones. Yeah, you got.
No. I said is that the conversation between Dexter Lawrence and Chris Jones needs to be addressed, because you can say Chris Jones is better, but what Dexter Lawrence has been doing, especially from last year and right now, y'all.
No, he tough.
I know y'all don't watch it.
Yeah, conversations. He's third. I mean, that's the conversation.
He's not. No, I'm saying is that, bro. You know that nigga is like top 3 impressions as a nose guard. That's crazy. He's top 3 impressions and he's a nose tackle, bro.
That's nuts.
That's nuts. He's almost at the same pressures as Nick Bosa's and Myles Garrett's, and he's getting double teamed damn near every play. Like, bro,
what about when he see Kelsey though?
We gonna see, because it's always a good matchup. But Kelsey the best center in the league, though, so that's like always a good matchup. Nobody really dominate Kelsey like that, bro. That's why he's respected the way he is.
I saw Kelsey really like that.
I just feel like, bro, like this is a lot of players that need some more respect that they don't get. Myles Garrett is one of them. Max Crosby is one of them, and Dexter Lawrence is for sure one of them too. That nigga is him, bro. I know Mr. Chiefs fan sports talk won't he get mad about that, but that's just what it is, bro.
Look, I'm very objective when it comes to the Chiefs, but bro, the level of impact Chris Jones has had year in, year out, like, it is insane.
Do I need to explain Dexter Lawrence's impact for the New York Giants?
Yeah, I'm not sitting here saying Dexter Lawrence isn't good. I'm saying that Chris Jones, I don't even think it's.
I think the impact is on the same level.
That's just a tough comparison. They don't even they don't play the same role. It's just tough to compare those two.
Because Chris Jones is more versatile. I've seen him line up at edge, and Dex don't.
Yeah,
exactly. Yes. And Dexter's not going to do that because he's a nose. Like,
yes. But if I do,
that's a tough comparison.
If I ever see Dexter Lawrence line up as an edge and he getting busy, yeah, I'm taking him.
Okay.
Because he's really 340 moving like that. That's ridiculous. Hey, but anything y'all gotta say? Any takes I gotta say before we head out, bro?
Free Smitty.
Man, said Free Smitty.
It might be Free Smitty, bro. I don't know, bro. Anything I gotta say, Nigel? Sports talk. That's where anything I gotta say.
Crazy takes.
No, I'm good, bro.
About to say, man, it was a good ass episode, Nigel. Sports talk. You got anything to say, bro?
Nah, I'll wait.
Oh,
I'll wait. I'll wait.
You wait till the season start? Oh, wait till the season keep going, or what you trying to say?
Yeah. Because you already know I've been pushing that AJ Brown agenda for about a year now, and I've been 10 toes down on that for a long time. So you got to admit I'm consistent with it.
You are consistent.
Gotta admit, but now the sports world is starting.
You are
consistent.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
I swear to God, it's just listen. I like AJB, bro, but it's just the talks with it is so fucking.
Do you like him though? Like
now to say that he's
I
top
don't like
when
when
insane to me. I'm not saying he's top.
I'm hearing he top 3, he top 5.
Nah, he not top 5. Nah.
Like he's not, bro.
He's in that convo.
He's in that
convo.
He is not in that convo.
That's what I done
He's
said.
not in that convo. Stop. It's not.
He is.
If you didn't have that conversation last year, he ain't in it now. Damn, man, that nigga's blowing.
I said last year that he was relatively in that
sports
conversation.
talk. You think he better than Jamar Chase?
I've said since last year I thought it was close, and I said it was him, Cooper Kupp, and Jamar Chase. I said they were all in a very interchangeable way. I would have Jamar Chase in the lead as of last year. I think right now, determining these next 9 games, or what is it, 8 games? That's why I said I want to really wait before I officially say he's top 5, because I do think Jamar Chase is still right there. But, over the next 8 games, it could really sway me. So,
all right.
I ain't gonna hold you, but I would not betting on Jamar Chase.
He barely bet. I mean, true.
Shit, I don't even know he better than White Rice. Ain't that right, Ronald?
Nah, he definitely not better than Cup. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Nah, but we gonna see, bro. Nah,
Yeah, we gonna see though.
I appreciate you popping out one out, everybody. Nigel, let's say, of course, Nigel. If anytime y'all niggas want to come back, bro, always free, bro. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, bro. And of course, tune in tomorrow. That's gonna be a good college show. We're gonna talk about the rankings and stuff like that. More upsets. Eagles Nation, you're a bot for saying he's a Sean McVay merchant, but I digress. That was crazy as fuck you saying that. But for the VIP room, I gotta get confirmation. Dory Jackson might pull up, USC legend, Giants corner. That's gonna be a lit ass episode. And then the next appearance might be the biggest one. It might be the best one. But that man Saquads might come pull up, bro. I gotta get the confirmation though.
Saquon, that's what's up.
I said we just gonna have to see though, bro. But yeah, bro, we out though, y'all. Peace.